There it goes. Okay. Oh, I don't need that open. And go and post. There we are. There we are. Everything is running. Will it go smoothly? That is the question. The answer may surprise you. I always enjoy saying that. I don't know why. Hello out there. I hope you're having a good time, having a good day. Hope that you're, I don't know, like cozy, I guess? I'm not sure. Hey, Draco Kraken. Yay, trauma bonding time for us forever DMs. There you go. There you go. We're doing the video that you sent us, so that's exciting. Yeah, I watched like a minute of it to see if I could get an idea as to what's going on. I have no fucking idea what's going on and what anything has to do with anything yet. So that's exciting. Um but you know, that's we'll learn together, okay? You already know. I do not, and anybody else who watches this may or may not. That is just how this works. Excitement abounds. um, right. There we go. There it is. I forgot to do that. But now we are set. We are set and ready and good to go. All right. Oh. Yeah, okay. That's good. We're good. Ugh. But yes, so tonight it will just be me. It seems, which is fine. The other two have had long days, and so it will be just you and me. Hello, Timothy. Good evening. Good evening. We did play Vampire together. That was super fun. I had a great time. I hope that you all enjoy it when it finally comes out. Tomorrow I'm going to hopefully get the next episode all squared away and put up. So that's exciting. I just need to really put sound effects in it, and then it's ready to go. I didn't have the energy last time, and I'm finally over my cough, I think. I know I said that like a while ago, but I actually think I am. And just in time, because I bought medicine so that I can get over the cough. It's always the way. I took one of them the other, like, 2 nights ago because I had a little cough, and I went, oh, well, now I'm fine. Basically, right after. So, hey, there you go. It's the threat of medicine that really works. That's right, Dave. If you threaten the disease, it will go away. And that's what I've learned today. Or also 2 days ago. But yeah. Glad you're feeling better. Thank you. I am also glad because let me tell you, as somebody, and I've said this before, but as somebody who speaks a lot and does it for a hobby, coughing, my throat hurting, all of that stuff really puts a damper on my day. Don't like it at all. Don't like it in the slightest. So, I take a drink here. There we go. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Table Talk Discussion and Discourse. I, as always, am your host, Alejo, a.k.a. Great on 95. I hope that you're having a good evening. /morning /afternoon/noon even. Ooh, that's a tricky time to get right because it lasts for maybe half a second. Anyway, not even. Yeah, so it's gonna be me today, and so you're all gonna have to help me out with noticing things if I don't. Tonight we are covering a video that was submitted by one of our community members, of course, that being Draco Kraken. And this video is from Matthew Coville. We've covered Matt a few times. Usually it's fine to, but it's never boring, which is good. This video that we're going to be covering is The Forever DM by our good friend Matthew Coville. Not our good friend, of course, because he doesn't know that we exist, obviously. Now, I said this before, and I'll say it again. I watched a minute of this to go, oh, what's going on here? And he starts with a whole story that I went, okay. So I have no idea where we're going to go. And this video is 35 minutes. And the only other information that I have, and I quote, was in the submission. By the way, if you're joined in our Discord, you can throw videos into the suggestions for hosts thing, and we might get to them potentially. But this one is the only other information I get is this kind of hit a weird chord with me, which is a great recommendation because I like it when videos are weird. Like they go, in the sense of like, how the fuck did this happen? I don't, what are you saying? Why is it making me feel this way? So we shall see if this also makes me go, but yes. Let's get right into it, I suppose. The Forever DM, I'm assuming, refers to the fact that your DM is always DMing and not ever playing as a player. That's usually what the Forever DM term is talking about. Now, sure, it can suck if you are a Forever DM. Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't ever think that it's not, possible to yearn to play once again. I know I felt it. I know many people have felt it. It is just one of those things where sometimes you just want to not be in charge of everything and just enjoy being a part of the world and all of that. But there's also, of course, people that really revel in it, right? They go, ooh, I love being the guy in charge all the time, right? Ooh, good stuff, And, if you have somebody who is that way, who always wants to be running games, great. I hope they're never burnt out, because that's probably one of the worst parts of it, is that you can get burnt out real quick. Or burnt out real quick. Excuse me. Anyway. It's also a strong stance. Ooh, exciting! Okay. Well, let us not waste any more time. Let us begin with the Forever DM.
Lots of different kinds of tables out there playing D&D. And by tables, I just mean groups of people. I suspect for most tables, D&D is not literally the only RPG they have ever played.
Mm-hmm.
If you check out the list of RPG events at Gen Con every year, you can see how many tables are reserved for each RPG. And I was really surprised to see how many people went to Gen Con last year to play RPGs that have nothing to do with D&D. Not another edition of D&D, not a clone of D&D, or...
When did this come out is now what I need to know. Hang on. Give me one moment, because this is... Oops. I reloaded the tab that I didn't mean to reload. Wanted to reopen close tab is what I wanted to do. There it is. Hopefully it doesn't fuck with anything. Let's see. This was 4 weeks ago. Okay. 4 weeks ago. Interesting, interesting. Now, so already my thought just goes, well, okay. So we have gotten to the point of 5e is pretty old at this point. We've got the newest edition that didn't really hit with a lot of people. We've had multiple things that Wizards of the Coast has done to make it so that people will probably steer away more so from D&D, just in general. So there's quite a few reasons as to why I wouldn't be surprised that there's not a lot of D&D stuff. At Gen Con, though, to be fair, never have looked into Gen Con. Never have been to Gen Con. Not that I don't want to. It would be cool to go to a convention again. I've not been to a convention since Looks at Watch. I want to say 20... Oh, God. It's before 2020, I can tell you that much, obviously. But, like, is it before 2015? I don't actually remember. Maybe it might be a little bit after that. It's before 2018, I think. Yeah. Anyway, the only ones that I've gone to really are like, I went to PAX East, and I've gone to, there was an anime con or some sort, I think. I don't remember actually. Was it? Oh God. 2014? That might be the last time I went to a convention. That's the date that's coming into my brain. Anyway, regardless, sorry. I had to finish the thought. But regardless, so in current year, we have a plethora of tabletop RPGs. A plethora, in fact. So I don't know. It's just weird, I guess, and I would be like, yeah, sure. There should be like a few tables for D&D, but I would expect most of them to be newer games because people want to see what those are and really play those, and show them off as well to get other people to want to buy them and play them, right? I mean, that just seems logical to me. So, I don't know. What would a D&D clone look like? I mean, it's really basically just a D20 system that is high fantasy, I assume. People would call Pathfinder a clone, I guess. It is its own thing more so now. In fact, I feel like D&D is trying to clone it in a lot of ways. Currently, I don't know. But yeah, it's... people have called Pathfinder 1E specifically a clone of 3.5, and they're pretty accurate with that, I would say. There's a lot of similarities. A lot. Because it's basically taking that system and going, oh, let's change a few things, right? I should really go to Gen Con one day. It's in my bloody state. Fair enough. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I haven't been to yet. One day, maybe. One day. Going to a con would be fun. I've never been to one, but I bet my wallet would suffer. Oh, yes, it does. I have bought too many things through cons. It's fun. Having some really cool stuff. I still have these little Pokemon depictions. One of a Gengar, one of a Charizard, and one of a Sceptile. That are still around in various places, shelves and stuff, as well as a bead art, pixel art thing of Luigi, a Cucco, and a Gengar. It was cool to get those. I have a few patches as well, and such, and I still have the bags with all of the like not plans, not a planner. What the fuck? Calendar? I don't know. The daily events and shit. Anyway. All that to say, I would expect it to be more so different TTRPGs. And I'm glad. Honestly, I'm glad. Let's have more things rather than just D&D.
Or a fork, RPGs literally unrelated to that entire family of products. Hugely popular. I think most tables are like my friends and I were in the 80s and 90s. They start with D&D, they like it, but pretty quickly they want to see what else is out there.
Yeah.
Why not? RPGs are fun. Just like video games are fun. Board games are fun. I doubt there are groups out there that have only ever played one board game over and over for years, and they never tried another game.
Sure.
Because that would be weird. I have distinct and powerful memories of my friends and I climbing into John's Pathfinder and driving to Brookhurst Hobbies to buy Shadowrun, which we immediately went home and played. I remember driving in my friend Dave's dad's Jaguar to Jim's store in Costa Mesa, buying Deadlands, and immediately going home to try it. And you can see why, right? Shadowrun is cyberpunk with magic, like elves and dwarves and spells and the Tyrell Corporation. The cover alone completely sold it. It was a cool, unique idea, and we were dying to play it. I remember just looking through the list of gear was really inspiring. Deadlands? It's the Wild West with magic and zombies. That's amazing. I want to do that.
Yes.
This is normal. And looking at everybody playing all these different games at Gen Con, I think it's still pretty normal.
Okay, good. So, okay. Yeah, cool. Well, it's normal, but why were you surprised, I guess?
That is not what this video is about. I think there are also a lot of groups like mine where we...
Sorry, I figured, okay, yes, I would assume it's not what the video is about, because there's a title and everything, but sure. I guess we'll go into that a little bit. Most hobbies are like that. You have a starter thing and then go deeper. Oh, exactly, yeah.
We eventually became obsessed with one other RPG and played only it for years.
Sure.
And for my group, that was Champions, a superhero RPG, which is pretty abstruse by any modern standards.
What the fuck does abstruse mean? I've never heard that word. Hold on. Abstruse. That's new. Difficult to understand, obscure. Okay. Interesting. Difficult to comprehend, recondite? What's that word? I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole of words. I've never heard that word used. It's not like it's a problem or anything, it's just interesting. Recandit? Recondite? I don't know. Oh yeah, recondite. Okay, yeah. Little known, abstruse. It just refers back to that other one. Of a subject or knowledge. Okay, neat. Huh. Okay. Alright, forever DM support, let's go. Yeah, that's right. It is tough to be a god, indeed. Hello, Shin and Verity. Portmanteau of obtuse and abstract. Okay, alright. Huh. It's just an interesting word that I've never heard. Neat.
But even though we played Champions every week for like 3 years, we eventually put it down and played other games. Just like there are games you used to play years ago, you loved it then, but eventually you moved on. That's normal. I bet there are lots of groups who've had that experience, are having it now. So that is also not what this video is about. I bet there are lots of groups like mine where we spent about 20 years playing lots of different games, but eventually we just went back to D&D for a bunch of reasons, including it's the old familiar, it's nostalgic, and it's in many ways the path of least resistance. I bet that's pretty common. We played lots of different RPGs. We liked some of them. Some didn't really work on us, but eventually we went back to D&D because it was what we all knew. Perfectly normal. Nothing weird about that. So as you can guess, that is also not what this video is about.
What is the point then of including these? I guess you better tie these in somehow. Cause okay. Entropy Omega, hello. I said your full thing. Oh my god. It's tough to be a demon too, indeed. Hello Pizza Funk. How are you doing? That's not what this video is about. Okay. Yes, great. It's been 3 minutes, and I know you have 35 of them to go, but come on, man.
I do notice these days, especially these days, a lot of folks online, and that includes Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, Blue Sky, all over, complaining about one of two things. Either they're complaining about how annoying D&D is, how annoying to play, annoying to run, or they're complaining about how they really want to play another game, but they can't get their group to even try anything but D&D. That is what this video is about. We're going to talk about those folks who complain about how annoying D&D is, but who refuse to try anything else.
Okay, so I don't like the implication, then, that these people are abnormal. immediately, that's what you get from your 3 other examples. This is normal. This is normal. This is normal. We're not talking about the normal things. We're talking about the abnormal. I don't like that. First off. Now, is it necessarily meant to be derogative? I don't believe so. But I don't know. It just, like, people are... I understand the claim here as well of, like, people do seem to be complaining a bunch about not being able to run things, not being able to play other things. Or, no, sorry, not being able to run things is not correct. Not being able to play different games with their groups because they don't feel like it. And how annoying it is to run D&D, right? Now, the ones who are complaining about the running D&D is annoying, I'm going to assume before we get to the point where he really goes into it more, but I'm going to at least assume that he's talking about the people who are like, combat too slow, too much health, blah, 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 all of the things that we have covered over the years, right? Metagaming is too much, it's... all of these, well, maybe not the metagaming thing, because that's not necessarily D&D's issue, but it could be that that's something that he's referring to that people are complaining about. I don't know. I'm just speculating until we get substance. Now, are those complaints, I guess, necessary and valid? Valid as a complaint is probably always going to be a yes, because you can complain about something unless you are literally lying about it, in the sense of misrepresentation of information that has to do with the system, right? That's the only time where somebody complaining about something is probably not going to be that valid, right? Their preference for the game being a certain way or something can make it so that they complain about it, right? That's fine. Nothing wrong with that, Oh, I really don't like how D&D does magic items because they break the whole system. It's like, okay, yeah, fair enough. That's a valid complaint. Sure. It's got basis in some of how the D&D works itself as well. But somebody else could then go and say, I just don't like magic items because I don't feel like they really fit. Just in general. I just don't like the usage of magic items. It's just too much. And I'd be like, okay, fair enough. That's another complaint that you can have. Just don't use magic items in your game. Sure. And they can go on and on about it, whether or not they want to, whether or not they're making a video about it, whatever. And that's perfectly fine for them to have that opinion. I wouldn't agree to it in the latter's case, but the former's I would. So I don't know. But I guess with the, like, other things about running the game in the sense of something like it takes too long, or enemies are just too spongy and such. The complaint really kind of boils down to the fact that running D&D raw is usually not the best case scenario that you want to do. Right? But that's all you've got when you're brand new. When you're a veteran, an experienced player coming back to D&D, right? That's when you start to notice the issues, and that's when you start to really kind of form the more educated, I guess, quote unquote, opinion, because you have had time to really think on it, to really experience the game a lot, and really see how everything kind of connects and how it works together. And the complaints that I usually see are from those veteran players who are starting to really delve into D&D because they are experiencing these newer systems or these other systems that they enjoy more, and coming back to the old classic, they are just realizing, oh, well, it's still fun, but there are some issues, right? And I think that's fine. I think that's normal, even. Oh, I don't know. All this to say, I don't like the implication of abnormality, because it just doesn't feel like it's right, but maybe he's going to say some stuff that makes me retract. Maybe he will. I don't know. We shall see. Feels padding the runtime. Did I read that before? I don't know. My brain thinks it does. It did. But either way, it did feel like that before. It does sound like he thinks nobody should be complaining, which is a bit weird. Yes, that's kind of also the vibe that I get, which is very strange. So I know it's probably tempting, but don't walk into his mouth right now. You'll probably get erased from existence. Well, you know. Sometimes I'm just a little tired. Maybe walking into the void is what I need. No. You're Anyway, let's continue.
And those groups where the DM wants to try other games, but they can't get their group to try another game. And those are two very different problems. And in fact, I think neither of them is a problem. Not really. Sort of. One of them is.
Okay. Okay. I'll let him go. I'll let him go. Let's keep that in mind for later.
You'll see. Hey everybody, Mac over here. If you've been online for any length of time in those spaces where people talk about D&D or RPGs, you have seen folks who seem to spend most of their time complaining about how annoying they find 5th edition. Listening to these folks, they have a lot of complaints. There is a lot about D&D that people find weird and annoying. Whenever this happens, I see these folks getting dogpiled on, retweeted, subtweeted, ratioed by other people saying, just play a different game. And in fact, it is this behavior, the people saying, just play a different game, that got me started on all this. And you would think, given that my company is about to release its first original fantasy RPG, that I would be on the side of the people doing the dogpiling and subtweeting. Because it is in my best interests to get people to try our game, which I'm not even going to mention the name of, because I don't want folks to get distracted. The only reason I even bring it up is you would think that I would agree with the people saying, just play a different game. Play a game that doesn't annoy you. But I am not on their side. I am on the side of the people complaining. Because in my experience, the people who will try other games, they don't go online to complain about D&D in the first place.
Excuse me. Don't know about that. I'm not sure about that one there, my guy. I love Vampire the Masquerade. It is one of my favorite systems of all time. I love Delta Green. It's one of my favorite systems of all time. I love those. But I will absolutely and easily get on here and tell you some of the issues that I have with how D&D is. We do a show where we do that sometimes. That's crazy. It's not because necessarily it is the show. It is because we are talking about topics about D&D. And again, we have the experience now at the point of having played many things, even going back and playing other editions of D&D, that we have our points of comparison that we can draw from, right? We can go, ooh, in a D&D, it worked like this with THAC0. Don't really like THAC0. But I do like how AC was made the norm in 3rd. And ooh, in 3.5 we have the the feat trees in a way, right? Of you take one feat so that you can build it into these other feats so that you can then customize your character to specialize with them, and it has a shit ton of skills that you can then specialize in, with your intelligence bonus being the way that you get more skills per level, skill points, per level, so that you can continue to customize and really hone in on how specialized your character is. But in 5th edition, you don't got that. They've just put in the feats again as not optional. I assume, to be fair. I'm not entirely sure if there's probably a thing in there that says these are optional. I don't know. I haven't read that bit. And please correct me if I'm wrong. But they have that, and it's there. It is something that exists, but it's not the same as what it was. And I think that combined with those skills, whereas in 5th edition, the skills are much, 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 much less and more broad, I feel like we are less specialized in our characters. Even though you can still specialize, we are less specialized because we can't really break it down a little bit, you know, and really kind of make it so that our characters are even gated off from skills, so that it's like, oh, well, my character can't do this, like, at all. So I need somebody who can, you know, which can promote the role play between two characters, can promote the role play between a character in the world, NPCs, you know, all that kind of stuff, because they need to find something or someone to make it so that they're able to do something that they want to do. I think there's a broader kind of thing there. And then we talked about the magic system last episode. There's a lot of problems that we have with it because it's very kitchen sink, but there's so much that it really does break how the world works, and that there is no, like, consequences, really, in the sense of people everywhere having cantrips and shit all the time, and changing the very nature of the world because of it. Right? So there's plenty of stuff that we can point to, even though we've played and love other systems. Boo loves Call of Cthulhu. Aiden, he likes D&D. I don't actually know which system he loves, to be fair. I should ask him next time. Like, what's his favorite system? I don't actually know, off the top of my head. He might have said it before, but I actually can't remember. But regardless, those are things that we love, that we've played, that we've tried, that we play literally instead of D&D. You know? So... careful if you walk into a void, the void walks into you. That's fine with me. It's a problem, no, not really, but sort of. What? We'll get there, I guess. What even is this guy's point again? So far, it's people complain about things online, and when people say, just play another system, he's not agreeing with that. Which I also don't necessarily agree with off the bat, so we'll get there. I want to see what his reasoning is. Also, what does people having complaints have to do with forever DMs? Great question. Here we go.
They get annoyed, then they get fed up, then they go find a new game. Spoilers, new games are fun, right? So
is D&D. D&D is still fun. I have issues with it. I don't think that means that I can't have issues with it. You know? It's not a dichotomy. It isn't. I can have issues and like something. Sorry. I have so many issues with how the Godzilla movies are in terms of plot structure and writing. But I really like Godzilla, and I really like watching the old movies. I don't know.
If this person online complaining about how janky D&D is was the kind of person who might try something else, they would have. That would have already happened. The reason these folks are complaining is because they love D&D. They actually genuinely love it, and complaining about the things we love is normal. It is not a problem to solve. Stop bullying people who are just venting. Stop trying to score points off of them. The points don't matter. Haven't we all had the experience?
Okay. I agree. Well, this is weird. Now I'm very confused. This may be a case of your internet experience may vary. Yeah, it could be. And also, okay, I agree with that. Don't just shut somebody down unless, like, you have the if for what we do, right? I see that people like and dislike the videos, right? If you dislike it, hey, that's fine. I would love to know why, right? I would love to know why somebody has disliked the video. But I don't get those comments in their comment thing because, you know, I don't know. People just disagree and then just go away, which is fine. Again, that's another thing that you can do. It's just I would love to know why. It's part of a compulsion that I have, right? Of like, I need to know. And it sucks for me that's the case because, you know, sometimes it gets into my brain and it doesn't go away. But I would love to discuss that, right? In comments and stuff when we read them and everything. Give our actual, you know, reasoning and such, and understand other people's reasoning. Because at the end of the day, if they still dislike it after the fact, hey, that's fine. I really don't mind. We're not for everybody, obviously. But anyway, yeah. So when you're online and you're, complaining about something, and somebody else says, "Shut the fuck up, just have fun," it's like, dude, okay, come on. Like it's the meme, right? Of the comic thing that's like, oh, stop having fun. Oh, it's bad. Oh, this is bad. Blah 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 blah. Stop having fun. Nobody is like that. First off, who's complaining about stuff? They're just trying to find the things that can be improved most of the time, and then the other flip side is, well, just let people dislike something. Just let people hate something as well. Because it's important. It is. Doesn't matter where the criticism comes from. If it's a place of, happy, ooh, I love this thing, or ooh, I really hate this thing because it has this. The criticism can still be valid, And we don't need to be positive all the goddamn time, all right? We don't. We just don't. Anyway. I also agree with the not bullying someone for venting. Yeah. We need someone who doesn't smell like a dwarf. Exactly. Yes. Anyway. Okay. Well, so... okay, this is confusing so far. Let's go.
Experience of complaining a lot about something or someone we love? Aren't most of the people we love incredibly messy and annoying and full of contradictions?
Sure.
No,
not necessarily full of contradictions. People are pretty consistent most of the time, but okay.
Most of my favorite games are janky as hell. How do I know that? Because I played the shit out of them. Why did I play the shit out of a bunch of janky games? Because I loved them. So yeah, obviously I would love it if people played this game I am incredibly proud of, but when I see folks online bullying people who are complaining about D&D, I do not think, yeah, they should come try our game. I think, let those people complain. It's normal. What's not normal is badgering somebody you don't even know about the games they choose to play. Do not act like you are somehow doing them a favor by being a dick.
Sure.
Those people use so much manipulative language. Well, shouldn't people try new things? Shouldn't people be more open-minded? Hey, guess what? You have no idea how open-minded those folks are or aren't because you don't know them. You don't know them and they didn't ask you for advice.
Okay. This is strange. Yeah, okay. We need you to tell the YouTube AI that I don't need to be positive all the time. Yeah, that's true. So I don't disagree, obviously. But like this is I don't know. Something makes me feel weird. Why does something make me feel weird? What is happening? Draco Kraken? The fuck, man? Why did you... I know I said I like it, but I also like... Why am I weird? Why is this weird? Why is this really weird? Yeah. Weird chord. Exactly. Yeah, it is. Something is weird here.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I get excited. I feel really strongly about this.
Sure.
When you see folks online complaining about how janky D&D is, let them complain.
Yeah.
It is not a problem to be solved. They are just venting about something they love. Moving on.
Okay, but even so, I mean, engaging with that conversation is not necessarily going to be them bullying them. Like, if somebody's literally just, like I said, if somebody's literally saying, shut the fuck up and just go play something else, then, like, yeah, sure. Would I call that bullying? Not really. To be fair, I don't know. Maybe I'm showing my age a little bit, but, like, when people would do that shit online when I was younger, I didn't really bat an eye, you know? I felt bad because I have a problem. But I don't know. Like, it just seemed like a thing of just like, oh, whatever. But you ignored those people, right? You go, oh, okay, you don't have anything to say really, so we don't have to like interact, I guess. But the people who actually do genuinely like come in and say, well, actually, this is this way and this is this way, and they're trying to like argue against it, just to, you know, try to defend something, that's fine, because then you can have that discussion between those two, and obviously it could go up in flames, and somebody could go, and just go into this incredibly, you know, off-topic diatribe that goes like a personal kind of thing in some way, or something could happen where it just becomes something else instead of a debate. But yeah, I don't know. It just, I feel like it's fine. I feel like it's all fine. I don't know. Just ignore the people that don't have anything to say, I guess. And just say, no, shut up. It's like, okay. I won't. But thanks, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so there is this other kind of group. Again, I think this is a minority of tables, probably not you,
Okay.
where there's one DM and they want to play other games, but they can't get their group to even try anything else. This is a completely different problem, and this is really what this video is about.
Oh, finally, we're here, everybody. Oh, thank God. Oh, we're at 7 minutes and 13 seconds, and we finally had the actual fucking topic of the video. I don't know, like, and I don't want to be that dickish, that much of an asshole, but like, come on, man. It's been 7 minutes. You have 35 minutes of this total video. If this is all there is, I don't.
I get really upset when I hear about this,
Why?
which happens all the time. Just to be clear, here is what's happening.
Okay.
These people, these 4 or 5 people, do no work outside the game, but they expect this person to do all the work for them every week. And when this person says, hey, I want to run something else, these people say, no, we will not play anything else. We require you to run the game we want to play and not the one you want to run.
Is that what's happening? Is that what's happening? I don't... Okay. So, those are just assholes and you leave that group, I guess. What? That's not... I doubt that's what's happening. They're just like, no, I don't actually really want to play anything else. I like D&D, you know? I'd rather just keep playing D&D. Yeah, sure, this other stuff sounds interesting, but I'd just rather play D&D. You know? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing abnormal is going on here. If that's the case. If that's happening. And I know he said that there's, you know, a very minority, a very minor amount of people that might have these as tables. But even so, it's a bit extreme, I feel. I don't know. The one thing Garibay does right, his video is restricted to the duration of his commute. Oh, that's true, Dave. That's true. Thank you. I guess he needed to vent first, I guess. I don't know. That's weird. It's a weird start. It's 7 minutes. Just get to the point.
That upsets me. It makes me sort of angry. And let me tell you why.
Yeah, but
because
in the scenario that you've created, of course that would make you angry because you made it the way that you did. I don't know. Like, am I saying that these people do not exist? Am I saying that? No. That is perfectly reasonable to assume that there are some people that are like that. And sure, you can get mad about that. That's fine. Are you going to be mad enough about that very small group of people to make a whole video about it? Because it's not that... It's... First off, just say all you got to say. And I get it. Passion is passion, right? I'm appreciative of your passion. But all you got to say is just leave that group. The online space exists. It's a little different. It might take you a little while to find some other group online or in person. I get it. It's fine. But you deserve so much better, right? If you really just don't want to play anymore, then just don't. It's okay. We can do that, right? I get it. They're your friends. Sure. You can do other things. you know? Or you could just do the same thing if you want to, but play with other people with these other systems, because they might actually want to. I don't know.
Meet these people all the time. You may
do?
be surprised to learn this, but me just going out into the world, like to lunch, to buy groceries, I meet people who recognize me. And when they do, and they stop me to tell me so, whatever else I'm doing, I stop and I try to give them the experience they're hoping for. I do the song and dance, happy to take a selfie, and to make sure like they feel like participants in this moment, I ask them, okay, you know who I am, you've seen the videos, are you running D&D? And if they are, I ask them to tell me about their game. How's it going? And This works. They come out of their shell a little, gives them something familiar to talk about. It gives me something to react to, ask about, which is fun. Then we shake hands, I say, nice meeting you, and life goes on, and everyone's happy. I always say the same thing. These people are stopping me to tell me they think I'm awesome. I tell them, if you are running for your friends, I think you're awesome.
Sure.
Just make sure to tell your friends soon it will be their turn to run for you. And this is when I get sad and then I get angry, because it is very common in these moments for the stranger who just stopped me on the street to say, oh, no one else will run. I'm a forever DM. Have you heard this phrase? Forever DM?
Mm-hmm.
Let me explain it to you as I understand it based on all these experiences.
Interesting. I just wanted to point, I can't agree with just leave that group. It's not always that easy, even with the internet. That is fair. I get that as well. I don't know. My whole thing is just, I don't know. At this point, I guess let me at least just give you my viewpoint, okay? And if this is like it doesn't have to be anybody else's viewpoint about this, obviously. But this is just how I deal with this kind of stuff these days, is if it is something like this, if it's something so toxic like this, like he was describing before, that immediately just makes me think, no. I don't want to be a part of this. It doesn't matter to me if, you know, they're close friends or anything. I just don't want to be a part of this. If it's to that degree, I guess. Like, I don't know. If something is something that I don't want to be a part of, I just won't, right? Like, that's just my perspective on it. That's just how I will be. And I don't care too much about if that's... I don't know. It's just not... It's not something that makes me... I don't know. The best way that I can describe it these days is I have my group of friends. I have the people that I like to be around, right? If I don't want to do that, if I don't want to be around them for some reason, I just won't, right? Because it's more important for me to be okay, you know, than it is for other people to like me, necessarily, right? Like, I don't know. It's a little bit of an apathy thing. It's a little bit of a just self-preservation thing these days, where I'm just like, I don't know. I find it to be easy myself. If it's not easy for other people to leave a group, to not, you know, interact with that kind of thing anymore, you know, if it's the only way that they can, you know, interact with these people, I get that. I understand. It's just one of those things that, at this point, for me at least, I would rather not have the experience than have something that I don't want to be a part of, you know? Does that make any sense? I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is at the end of the day. If it's harder for somebody else to leave a group or something, then I empathize, and I don't know what else to do. You know? I can't think of a different way to go about it, you know? Not running D&D much lately, but if I meet him on the street, I'll be sure to tell him about the TableTalk discussions and Discourse stream. Thank you. I would have thought a forever DM is someone who just ends up in charge. Why would it be something they are forced into? So I I wouldn't ever think that it's something about being forced. I think it's just, I mean, from my understanding, usually, it's just that they're the ones who run the games. Nobody else really wants to. It's not that they're forced. It's just, it's the only way that they can, I mean, I guess technically, because it's the only way that they can play, right? Because nobody else wants to run the games. Which is fine. If nobody else feels they're confident enough. That's unfortunate, right? But I don't know. If you're burnt out, just, you know, you're burnt out. I get that, you know. We can just not play for a while and all that kind of stuff. If you're in a group that has a forever DM and they do get burnt out often, just let them, you know, recharge and all that kind of shit, right? Just let them figure it out. Let them be. Most of my encounters with the phrase have been in jest. Yeah. I mean, these days, yeah. I don't know. I don't encounter anybody who is actually, like, upset about being a forever DM. But if somebody is, and somebody has been, I would love to know why. Who's, you know, in the community and everything. I would love to know why. Yeah, because it's just like, I don't know. I don't have the understanding, right? It would be better for me, for my understanding, I guess. I don't know. Because I don't know, man. Sometimes it's hard for me to see things in certain ways, I guess, right? That's just me. I just have my views on things, and I need convincing on certain things, or I need more understanding on certain things, right? That's just how I am. And it's unfortunate for some things, but it's just, I don't know. But wouldn't most players who have played for a while be able to run it? Oh, sure. They're able to, but are they willing to? Do they think that they can take on the responsibility of running, you know, every NPC, all the world, make sure that the story is pretty good, make sure everybody's having fun and all that kind of stuff? There's pressure, there's social pressure, for sure. But I wouldn't ever say that no one can, right? Like, I think everyone can run games. It's a lot easier than they think. But, you know, I also understand the anxiety, because every time I run something, I have that pit in my stomach until I start getting into it of like, oh, fuck, it's all going to go to shit. Right? And I'm like, okay, sure. And then once I get into it, then it's like, oh yeah, okay, this is fun. You know? I don't know. I've been a forever DM mostly because only I have the brains to rule Lylat. Fair. There you go.
A forever DM is someone who wishes they could play. Every once in a while, they wish they could make characters and be a player in someone else's game, but no one else in their group will get behind the screen. So they feel like they are stuck being their group's DM. They are a never player, forever DM. If you are someone who loves running and you don't really care if you get to play, well, I don't think you're a forever DM.
Okay.
Because the context for this phrase, every single time I've ever heard it, is, I wish I could play, but I can't because these people refuse to run for me. I run for them. I would like to play. They all refuse to run. Does that seem fair to you?
But okay, again, I don't know, man. It doesn't, like, do they owe you that? Is my question. At the end of the day, does anybody owe you a game, I guess? Like, I don't know, man. It doesn't track for me. For me, the forever DM frustration is at this point, I have played as a player with my group. I assume I haven't played in over 10 years, and there's no game unless I do it. Okay, fair enough. I'm sorry that that's the case. I really don't know what to do in that situation, right? I assume you've had conversations with them. I assume you've talked about it, in the sense of like, hey, sometimes I would like to play. But I assume that those conversations don't go anywhere, I guess. In the sense of people saying, no, I don't think that I can do that, or no, I don't really feel like doing that, or whatever, right? And that can be frustrating. I get that. There is no fix, I just accept it. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know specifics about the situation, right? But I'm going to at least assume that you've had a conversation. And if that's all there is, that's all you can do, unfortunately, right? And if you're going to keep playing with them, you're going to keep playing with them, right? I don't know. I really wish there was some piece of advice that I could give that isn't just, you either do it or don't, really, right? I really wish there was, but that's the only way that I can really see it, because unless somebody in a group changes in their mentality of like, oh, this is actually something that's hard to do, right? If they change to, oh, wait, no, I think I can do it, then, there's nothing that can really be done, I guess, right? I don't know. I don't know how other people think, right? It's just the way that it is. What type of group is this? A new group getting to know each other, or friends that have played for a long time? A good, I assume, friend should be okay with running a game for you. Well, sure, but again, I do understand the social pressure that is there to make something that is good. That could be something that is daunting to people. That's absolutely understandable, right? So, I want to tell people all the time, you can run games. And I do tell people that all the time. You can run games. Anybody can run a game. Even if it's not the best. It's fine. You can do it. You can learn from it. You can grow from it, right? You just keep at it, really. That's just how it works. I don't know. There's nothing that I can do to be able to magically fix this. But again, going back to this part, I don't know. So, I don't know about, like, I don't like it feeling like somebody needs to feel entitled to have other people do something for them, right? I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me to go, oh, I've been running a game for a very long time. Yeah, I would like to play stuff. You should then think, oh, okay, I'll give you that as the opportunity, I guess, or that I owe you that opportunity, right? We've been doing this for a long time. I know all the rules and everything. I'd rather it be kind of an inspiration thing of like, oh, we've been playing for so long that I feel like I want to run a game, right? And I understand, again, people don't necessarily do that every time. I get that. But I feel like that's more what you should expect rather than somebody being obligated to do so, I guess. I don't know. Am I misinterpreting all this? I don't know. I don't get it. We played for roughly 12 years. While I don't think it's a malicious thing, it's more of a TTRPGs don't exist unless I set it up. Okay, fair enough. Right, I get that. Again, I don't know, right? I wish there was a magic fix that I could say, but there isn't. Or did everyone in the group agree that one of them will always be the DM and that person is regretting that agreement? Who knows about that? I would never, I'm not going to entertain things like, oh, somebody already agreed to be a DM, because, like, then there wouldn't be a problem. Like, to always be the DM, then there wouldn't be a problem, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, maybe I just need more context, I guess. Let's continue.
You? Well, now you understand why I get angry when I hear this. To me, and this was true even when my friends and I were teenagers and not experiencing much of a surplus of empathy. Even when we were kids, we all felt like, this is awesome. I am so glad Brad or John are running for me. I should run something for them so they get to play. That was normal. And not just normal, I believe it is correct. Yes, you should run something so they get to play. Also, you get perspective on what it's like to run, and that makes you appreciate them and not take them for granted. I mean,
I don't think that you need that in order to understand that as a like a part of how it goes. You shouldn't be taking people for granted in general, but you don't necessarily need to do exactly what they've done in order to understand that. You know? It's called empathy for a reason. Like, sympathy is when you know the feeling of somebody else because you've experienced it. Empathy is being able to understand it. Now, yeah, I agree that if people are playing a game and think it's real fun and then they want to do that, that's fine and dandy. That's what I was talking about. But I don't necessarily put it into the whole, like, they have been playing for a long time, I should do this for them, I guess. Like, that can be a reason, absolutely. And I'm supportive of that being your reason, absolutely. But is it the correct reason? That one feels weird. I don't know about that one.
I don't know about you, but I love getting the chance to see my DM as a player. It is a lot of fun for everyone when the DM gets to play. I did a whole series of videos, you may have heard about it, showing you that running D&D is actually pretty easy and literally fun.
Agreed.
So when I hear people complaining that their players don't just refuse to run a game, they refuse to even play anything else except D&D, I get a little flabbergasted. I actually think, well, they don't get a vote. You're the one doing all the work. That means they get to play whatever you want to run.
Okay. Oh. It feels weird to say that. Because let's go from a few different standpoints. Let's go from the technical standpoint first. The technical standpoint is yes, correct. Because you are the only one who is running anything and no one else wants to. So they are subject to your will at that point. Yes. Let's go from the standpoint of being a person. I would not subject people to something that I and only I want to do. Because I feel like that breaches the social contract a bit. And sure, maybe they might get to like it, maybe even love it. But I don't find that being... I don't find that to be a great reason as to force somebody to participate in something else. That's very strange to even bring up, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. Ooh, not a big fan of that one. Anyway, I think most players understand what DMs go through when running a game. I also think so, yes. Appreciation is there usually, and to be fair, when you're younger, you might not have as much of it, but you still appreciate it to a degree, right? You get more, more of the ability to understand it when you're older and you've understood how things work more so. There's a financial side to this as well. Playing something different means picking up a few books and giving them more than just a skim. Yes, there's a time commitment, which, again, is something that you've already agreed to, but regardless, it's the willingness to commit that time, which I think is something that, I don't know, I understand not wanting to try something new because you might not like it, right? not wanting to try something new because you don't have the time is one of those things that's here or there for me, because if you do it when you're going to be doing these D&D games, you definitely have the time. But if you don't actually have the time in general when you're doing other stuff, yeah, it'd be harder to learn and play these games. So I don't know. Just very and again, like you were saying, the financial thing as well, of like, can you afford to buy these brand new books necessarily? Not everybody goes and sails the high seas, so I don't know. I'm sorry. I really don't like. I don't feel comfortable right now from this one thing that he said. It's really pervading everything right now, and yeah, thusly the weird chord. I sympathize with the refusal to run, but not to the same degree, or with not running other games. Yeah, that exactly. Like I can empathize, but I do not agree with this. Players should have a say in what's played, I think. Yup. But forcing people to do things they don't want to do gives you power over them and increases your rank in the cosmos. Be that as it may, unfortunately, the cosmos is very empty right now, so...
As long as you're in the driver's seat, you get to pick the music. They don't like it? Then they should...
No, there's a reason why there's a DJ that you give who's in your passenger seat. Come on. Also, oh Jesus, this feels so weird. Hold on, go back a little bit.
I get a little flabbergasted. I actually think, well, they don't get a vote. You're the one doing all the work. That means they get to play whatever you want to run.
I don't like this.
As long as you're in the driver's seat, you get to pick the music. They don't like it? Then they should drive. These forever DMs, they all have something else in common. They don't just want to play every once in a while. They would also like to try other games. They tell me the games they're excited by that their players refuse to even look at. Isn't that interesting? The same person who's doing all the work so their friends can have fun, the same person who would like to play every once in a while, is also the same person who would like to try other games. They're willing to keep running, do all the work. They just want to try another game. It's like this one person is plugged into the hobby. These other people aren't interested in the hobby. They just want what they want, and they sort of treat their DM like an employee. Now, I do not think that this is most tables. It is probably not your table. But when I go online and I see folks complaining that their group won't play anything but D&D, I do not think the problem is people are stubborn and narrow-minded and set in their ways. I think there are not enough GMs in that group. That is a group with only one person willing to run and a bunch of players who refuse to do anything else. And maybe those players think that's fine. But would they still think it was fine when they saw their friend talking to me, sad, about how they never get to play, about how no one ever wants to try anything else?
Yeah, but I don't want to guilt them into it. Like, what the fuck? That feels manipulative. You were talking about manipulative language before. That just, I don't know, man. Sure, I get it, right? Like, I get it. But, like, come on. We don't need to go like this. It feels, ugh. Okay. Having an empty cosmos, like being the only person in the theater, it's like a private screening. That is true. That is true. It's all fatal in this house, or you can get out. That's right, Dave. God. Fatal. Player, put in the work. What the hell is this authoritarian shit? I don't know, man. So here's the thing. Again, I understand the frustration. I do get that. I get the want to play something else. This is why, now that I know this about Draco Kraken, like more so, I remember hearing about it a little bit before, but what I remember or what I know more so is that I'm happy that I've been able to run things for you, right? That is something that I'm happy that I've been able to do for you, because you don't get to do it a lot. Great, you know, I can feel good about that a little bit. But I don't know, even like as a player, okay, I don't know, it's one of those things where like this is so weird, because like I have the opinion that running things is easy, just as he does. But that's because I'm experienced with it. That's because I understand how these games work. That's because I've played them for a very long time. All these other people have only played it for a very long time and have no experience, and I understand, again, the fear that that can give of the experience of failing for your friends or your group, okay? I get that. So I don't immediately think that this is... I don't think this is something that you can get mad at them about, because you don't know their reasoning as to why they want to or don't want to play something or run something. And you don't know their reasoning as to why they, like, refuse to play a different game. Okay? You just don't know that. I don't know. We can make assumptions. We can work off assumptions. But your assumption right now seems so utterly negative that I have a hard time believing it. You know? That's my takeaway from this right now, is that you are automatically assuming the worst out of all of these other groups. And maybe that's what they're presented as to you, I guess, with these random people that you've met. Maybe. But, like, I don't know. And it's not that I don't want to trust these people and what they're saying to you, I guess. And the other thing to that is, why would they lie? But at the same time, I don't expect or really give the credence to this being something that they go and say with, like, the amount of, I don't know, being upset to this point with you about it, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't... It feels disproportionate, right? It does feel disproportionate. It feels weird, and I'm not entirely sure why this is the way that it is in this video, I guess. Like, he's very passionate about this. He's he also thinks that it's easy to run things, and I agree with him in that, but I wouldn't take it this far, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, my status as a forever DM is not tied to players not wanting to try other games. I would like someone other than me to run anything before we even talk other games. That's fair. I do thank you for running games for me. You're welcome. I'm glad that I've been able to. I'm sorry that I haven't been able to do it more for everybody who's, you know, been a table flipper, because it's just, it takes time. A DM like this sounds like a railroader. A little bit, yes, if they're literally forcing them to play something specifically, yes. Honestly, Coville is being very irresponsible right now by calling people to DM like this. They're going to get dragged through glass. It's going to destroy them. Yes, that's right. As we've learned from Garibay, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. It's, again, it's fine to be frustrated with this, but the amount seems like crazy at this moment, and I you can be frustrated as much as you want to be, but this just, I don't know, man. There's something weird about this.
About how they feel trapped? Is it still okay then? I don't think this is a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence that the DM who wants to play, but no one else will run, is the same DM who wants to try other games, but no one will let them.
So here's the thing as well. We haven't had a conversation, I guess, like in your world that like has involved. Well, so we've had a conversation with them and they've said they don't want to run things. I don't know, man. I don't want to force anybody to do any fucking thing, you know? That doesn't feel right. Right? Like it This is so fucking weird. I don't know, man. I don't like it. Because to a degree, I understand. But it's going about in such a way that it's really like hard for me to, I don't know, feel the sympathy that I was feeling, or the empathy that I was feeling before.
I have noticed something else, and you may have noticed it too. Groups with multiple DMs tend to try lots of different games. I don't think that is a coincidence either.
Sure.
In other words, I don't think the problem is my players are stubborn and won't try any other game. I think the problem is my players are selfish and won't try getting behind the screen.
Oh my god.
The I can't get anyone else to run problem is the problem of my group won't try anything else. Let's talk about why this might be. Why does having multiple DMs inevitably lead to trying other games?
Okay, sorry. I wouldn't call them selfish. I don't know why you would. I don't know, man. Like, it might feel that way, I guess. Like somebody is being selfish because they won't even attempt to do something else. Might feel that way, but I wouldn't go there. Because again, if somebody just doesn't want to do something, they just don't want to do it. You can't force it. And you can't, like, like, you shouldn't have to, I guess.
I think I know, or I know one reason why it might be. Because as soon as your group has a second DM, even playing the exact same edition of the same game, the players all discover, wow, this is really different. Just switching from Jason's D&D game to Anna's D&D game can be a huge shift. You know, I have friends who, if they ran D&D, I know for a fact they would run something stupid, where we're all cute animals or something. But I would give it a shot. And I bet it would be a lot of fun because in my advanced age, I have learned a lot about how to see things from other people's points of view. If Anna wants to run this for us, whatever I might think, she must think it's cool. So let me see if I can find that. Once you have that experience of shifting gears,
so then the same thing applies in the sense of going and understanding how other people view running a game. And so wouldn't you also understand that some people just don't find it something that they would enjoy doing, something that they want to stress about, something that is, I don't know, it's just something they just don't want to do. Like, it's, again, they aren't obligated to be at your table. They aren't obligated to run things for you. They aren't obligated to do anything with you. Sure, it's nice when, you know, people do other things, or do things for other people, but no one's fucking obligated to do shit for anybody. It's just whether or not they will. Cute animals are stupid. I see how it is, Coville. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know. Fucking Honey Heist is a fun one-page fucking game. It's not stupid. They aren't stupid cute animals. They're cool.
Wildly, because someone else is running for the first time, and even though it's the same rules, it's a different world, it's a completely different style. Once you've experienced that, the act of just swapping out the game engine, not that big a deal.
Sure.
Brad running Middle Earth for us, not that different from Brad running D&D for us. but they were both way more different than John's D&D game. And we love playing Middle-earth. That system is super different from any other edition of D&D, and these days, it would seem pretty old and crufty. But when it was new and we were young, we loved how different it was from D&D. The rules and the system were different, but it was still Brad behind the screen. It was still a fantasy RPG. If Brad ran Paranoia for us, that would have been super different because the tone of Paranoia is wholly unrelated to the tone of D&D or Middle-earth. In other words, changing from one DM to another can be way more different than changing from one game to another, depending on the game. That is why as soon as you have multiple DMs, you are on the path that will eventually, inevitably, I think, lead to trying different games. Once you've got more than one person willing to run, suddenly lots of things are possible. Why not try Paranoia? It'll almost certainly be fun. And then we can play something else after that. We're just going to try it out. We're not going to get married. All right, so enough of me complaining. I don't like doing that. And I think whatever attention me bitching gets, it is the wrong kind of attention. So
then why did you do it? If you really believe that... No. That's not the attitude you should have, first off. Okay. Now, just because I don't agree with your opinions does not mean that you doing that is a problem. Oh, God. I don't know, man. Immediately, I just think, no, you should voice your opinions regardless of, like, the amount of attention, the kind of attention they give. Because, to be fair to anything, maybe somebody will, one, take some information that you give and benefit from it. Two, take the information that you give and counter it, right? And then increase your understanding, right? Just the whole reason that we have a fucking ability to even express our ideas is so that we can better understand this shit because we're able to express it. We express these things to each other. Like, the attention that you get / give because you're quote-unquote bitching about it is something that could be helpful. Don't sell yourself short just because you're complaining. Oh, I don't like complaining. Yeah, okay. Sure. That's fine, but guess what? Nothing changes if you don't fucking complain about stuff. Alright?
So let's talk about trying other games and what happens when you have more than one DM. Let's talk about something fun and positive, which is trying new games. People seem...
Okay, trying new games? Good. Do it. It's fun. That's true. That's it.
To think it is hard to learn a new RPG.
It's not.
That has not been my experience. I mean, yeah, it's harder than learning a new board game because any board game has a very narrow problem set compared to an RPG. But compared to a lot of the nonsense we are expected to figure out in our lives, learning a new RPG is easy and fun, I think. People do it all the time. People just like you are peeling off from D&D, which is almost everybody's first RPG, and they are trying new games every day. I think maybe the reason you think, that's right, now I'm talking to you, person who still has not run, in spite of my brilliant, and if you will allow me to be modest for a second, legendary video series. I think the reason you think new RPGs are hard to learn is because you're imagining how hard it is to master the rules. Yeah, that can be hard. Sure, mastering anything is hard. That is what mastering means.
Yeah, that's why you should go and watch Garibay's 10... his 10 masteries of D&D. That way you can fucking learn how it really is. Like, I don't fucking know, man. God. I just, like, okay. So, this video is about being a forever DM. He takes 7 goddamn minutes to even get to the point that he wants to talk about. And then he starts getting into this stuff that it just feels so wrong. I don't know. It just feels weird as fuck. And then we're now going into not even like maybe even potential solutions. We're going into this is why playing other games is fun. Now, I understand that he's kind of compounded the whole thing of trying other games and forever DMing. That's kind of his whole thing right now. But I don't know, maybe we could like suggest things about that first part first. Because that might be the part that your video is titled about. And maybe if you're going to talk about this other stuff, maybe you could title your video The Forever DM and Trying New Things. Right? Because that actually would flow, in a way, in the sense of two concepts that actually do go together pretty well, because the Forever DM and Trying New Things could mean the Forever DM and people that try to DM, or the Forever DM and trying new systems. You know, like, can we just, like, for, like, a second, like, do that so that it's, I don't know, man. I was AFK. Is the guy still being weird? I do like complaining. Critical thinking develops with practice. True. But you don't get there until you start complaining, unfortunately. That's not true, to be fair. It's just noticing and talking and really thinking about things, that's all. As long as you're thoughtful about your complaints. I don't even know, man. That's the thing. Even if somebody's careless and thoughtless about their complaints, it still can promote that kind of discussion, because somebody else can go, oh, actually, you got that wrong, you know? Or, oh, well, really, if you think about it this way, with these pieces of evidence, then it's actually fine. Like, your complaint is kind of invalid, right? Like, even thoughtless complaints can really promote critical thought. Because as long as you're not just going, yeah, without any thought whatsoever, then, you know.
But think back to the first time you ever played D&D. It was super fun, and you barely knew the rules. Learning new rules is fun because you're encountering a bunch of new ideas. Ideas these designers were really excited by. And pretty quickly, you get excited by those ideas too. In fact, I think if you've only ever played 5th edition D&D, any modern game you try and learn will be easier than that game for two reasons. First, most RPGs work the same way. You make a character, the character has stats, you do things, quests, mysteries, survive, contracts, whatever they call adventures. All RPGs have these things, and most of them involve rolling dice to see how well you did. They are not that different. In other words, you already learned one RPG. After that, it's easier. You know, a game like Wingspan is way, way different from a game like Dominion. But even 5e, as weird as it is, isn't that different from Mothership. 5e is also very weird in a way other games are not. It's weird in ways other editions of D&D are not. 5e is about preserving that 70s design in amber, so folks my age feel comforted. Stats that go from 3 to 18 feels like home. Except, of course, they don't go from 3 to 18, they go from -4 to +4, except really, they go from like -2 to +5, but who cares?
I'm sorry, I just don't have anything to say about this part, because it's like, this is apparently for someone else, right? Like, this is for somebody who's never thought about doing anything with the hobby, I guess, aside from just playing. Which, sure, fair enough. There's something for that. I don't have anything to say, because it's just like, yeah, this is true, right? The whole first front-loaded section has been really where I've just, like, been on my roller coaster, you know? So now I'm just kind of like in this emotional, like, I'm deflating emotionally, because it's just like, now we're just in something normal, and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this, right? You told me to take charge and tell people that we're doing something else because I'm going to force it down their throats. And now we're like, but no. Anyway, this is why it's actually fun to do other things. It's like, okay, sure. I don't know, man. Well, all right. As long as you can take criticism of your own complaints. True. That is the skill. Being able to take criticism is the skill that you need to develop, right? As well as critical thinking itself. I write reviews sometimes. Critical thinking does take practice. Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't say that I'm great at it, but I'm still practicing every fucking day. Taking criticism is just objectively something you should be able to do. True. I promised weird and strong opinions. You did, and you did not disappoint, because, man... I don't like what I'm feeling right now.
Other games, and there is no way you would know this if you've only ever played 5th edition, other games tend to be easier to learn because they are just trying to do the thing that they are. They're not trying to sum over 50 years of legacy.
What? What? Is D&D trying to do that? Is that what it is? I thought it was just trying to do D&D, but a new edition. It's trying to sum 50 years of legacy? I guess, like, as a byproduct of being a new edition, potentially, yes, but I don't think that's the main goal. I think it's just supposed to be something that everybody likes to play and have fun with. That's at least my take on what it is. As, like, a game. As, like, a system. The art book, I guess, is the trying to take 50 years and put it together. You know? Like, that's what that is. They should issue a commemorative D50. Ooh, that would be great, actually. That does sound like some Garibay shit. That's true, Pizza Funk. That does weirdly sound like some Garibay shit. You're right. No, it's trying to sum more than 50 years of legacy. D&D is more than a game. Well, see, there you go, everybody. The memes are coming through. That's true. No, like, that's so weird. I don't understand why you would think that, because D&D is just trying to do what it wants to do as well. Why would you make it sound so much more grandiose? If you're really trying to make... Are you trying to make it so that it sounds more complicated than other things? Because D&D 5e isn't as complicated as a lot of other games. D&D 5e is specifically way more simple than a lot of other games. So why would you make it sound that way? That's super weird. Coville sounded like Garibay. Zinch smiles. True. God. The 50 years thing sounds like homebrew from players using stuff from all across D&D. Kind of, but like, yeah, that's really weird because I can tell you for a fact that Vampire has so many more things going on in its core rules in its current edition than D&D 5e does at all, and it's a lot more to keep track of. Call of Cthulhu, same thing. There's a hell of a lot that you got to take into account. Delta Green, pretty much so as well. You have a good baseline by playing D&D 5e, sure. It's easier for you to grasp concepts because you've heard of a lot of them before, but in terms of complexity and keeping things noted down, like in Vampire the Masquerade, I have on occasion, a lot of the time, forgotten ambitions and willpower, how willpower can work, and I've had to correct myself and really teach myself how to do it because it is something that happens every session and I need it to happen. D&D, you don't really have anything that you are required to do at the beginning of every session. You just kind of go. But in Vampire, there's rouse checks. There is healing, both health and willpower, based off of specific stats. There is choosing ambitions, and during the game, you can fulfill those ambitions, and then you can choose another ambition. You have to remember that you can do that, which heals aggravated damage, willpower damage specifically. Like you have to worry about your hunger. You have to worry about frenzies and compulsions. Like, these things can happen all throughout the game. And yeah, there's a lot of things to remember in D&D 5e, but I don't think there's anything as complex at all, really. Aside from, I guess, spell charges? Maybe? But even those are pretty simple. If I get these amount per day, every time I wake up, if I have to roll something to get my charges back, I do, but that's kind of it. Everything heals back immediately after a long rest. I guess short rests and what's it? Fuck, why can't I think? A hit die rolling, and some spells can be a bit more complicated. Like, but I guess, yeah, spells are the thing. Okay, we'll go with spells. Spells are the most complex thing about D&D 5e, I think. Somebody can absolutely prove me wrong on that, for sure, if I am. But I don't know. Vampire has so much more in terms of just existing that you have to keep track of, I guess. But, again, it's easier to understand because you've played a TTRPG before. If it's your first one, it might be a little harder for you to get through, to get to understanding. But, again, I wouldn't make D&D sound so grandiose when it really is just trying to do what's on the tin. And that's it. Feels a little deceptive, feels a little manipulative, feels a little Garibay-esque. Weird.
So most games are easier to learn because they're less weird.
No.
1970s RPGs and probably most 1980s RPGs I would not recommend because they tend to be very strange and weirdly obsessed with math and charts and not much with play or fun.
But D&D isn't that. Why have you made the association? Like D&D 5e specifically, I mean. Yeah, there's a little math here and there, but it's so much less than it used to be. What are you talking about? It's also focused on the fun. What?
I'd say any RPG from the 90s till now, you can figure it out in an afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Also, RPGs tend to fall into a couple of different categories. Class and level is one, skill-based is another.
Yes.
Dice mechanics tend to fall into a small number of categories like roll under, dice pool, roll and keep.
Yeah.
In other words, once you've played 4 or 5 different RPGs, it gets even easier to learn a new one because you have all these other games to compare them to. Oh, this is yeah. Also, in this day and age, if you're curious about a game like Mothership or Numenera, I bet you can find videos explaining how the game is played. At least, videos that give you some context to get started yourself. So it will be easier for you to learn Mothership than it was for us to learn the Marvel Superheroes role-playing game, which was my second RPG, and it was way different from D&D, super different. We did...
I agree. It's way easier to learn things these days because it's been made easier because people have made videos and such. I agree. Wytheville is coming for Garibay's crown? No. I never would go that far. It's just the one thing that was weird. That's all. Obviously, all the stuff in the beginning as well was a little weird, but, nothing will ever come for Garibay. More people are finding out about Garibay, and it scares me. But yeah, Yeah, okay. So here's the thing. What if somebody doesn't have any interest in any of that stuff? They just don't have an interest. They just want to play D&D and that's it. Is that okay? Is that all right? I don't know. It's just like I get it. You're talking to the guy who doesn't want to do anything else. That's fine. But like I don't know, man. He's still no Garibay. He hasn't compared Critical Role to the Ukraine war. True. That is something Garibay did.
Didn't have Quinn and Quinn's Quest. Look, it's a video about Mothership. It's really good. Thank God for Quinton Quest.
Okay.
Well, this isn't strictly speaking a how-to-play video. It's a review of the whole thing, including the packaging. But there are other videos that are only about how to play. Easy. And like I said, you don't have to...
Shout out to Quentin Quest, I guess. All right. True, he doesn't drive a car in every video. That's also true.
To be an expert on the rules to run or play a game. Teenagers know this, or rather, they don't know that they don't know it. They just plunge ahead, assuming they're doing it right, and then over the course of years, they discover they were doing it super wrong the whole time.
Yeah.
But you know what? They still had fun.
Okay, so, okay. Oh, all right. So it's not that, like, I understand. Again, you're trying to, let's just reiterate, you're trying to talk to the people who don't want to do anything else. Okay. I'm sorry, I gotta play it back again. I'm starting to, like, I don't know.
Super different. You know, we didn't have Quinn and Quinn's Quest. Look, it's a video about Mothership. It's really good. Thank God for Quinton Quest.
Sure.
Well, this isn't strictly speaking a how-to-play video. It's a review of the whole thing, including the packaging. But there are other videos that are only about how to play. Easy. And like I said, you don't have to be an expert on the rules to run or play a game. Teenagers know this, or rather, they...
Okay, so, yes, you don't have to be a master to play the game. I agree. But you want to be good at it, and I don't know, man. I don't think that somebody being intimidated because they want to be, like, their best is necessarily a bad thing, right? And I'm not even, to be fair, that might not even be the reasoning that some people have. I grant you that. But the anxiety that we feel to do something the best that we can for a group of people that we usually give a shit about, is something that can give you that sense of, well, we're already doing it this way, and everybody's having fun, and I don't want to be the one to ruin it, right? Which could be the case as well, you know? And to that person, I would say, you're not going to ruin their fun. People are going to have fun, okay? And even if they don't, that just means that you then have that experience that you can improve from, okay? You can apologize to them if you really feel it's necessary. Tell them, I'll try better next time, and then give it another shot, right? But at the same time, you just do it again. You're going to be okay, all right? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I feel the need to defend these people that are just there to play. Because some people are just there to play. And there are some people who will never run a game. And I think that's okay. It might be unfortunate for some people, as we've had examples given. It might be that it creates a lot of frustration for some people. And I empathize with that. I do. But I just don't want to... I don't want to demonize these people, I guess, who are there to play a game with some friends. you know? Um, and obviously, if you're just a player and you've stumbled across this fucking podcast and you've made it to here, just tell your DM if you've never, if this is your situation somehow, and you've never run anything, and you're here, you're watching this for some reason, it's very unlikely, but even so, I want to put it out there. Just tell your DM that you appreciate what they do. Just tell them that you appreciate it, and tell them that whatever it is that's keeping you from playing the game. And, they might not be able to convince you otherwise, but you appreciate what they're doing. And you like having fun with them, and you like being around them. Just give them that, okay? Give them something so that maybe you can ease that frustration just a bit. Because I feel that way for anybody who runs a game for me. I really do, and I might not say it, but I do think that. I think, thank you so much for taking the time to just run this. It is something that is fun to do, but it is time consuming. And time is a big thing for me. So that's why I want to at least, give them a bit of, I don't know, admiration, support in some way. Because it is something that's important. Even though we're playing a stupid little fantasy game together. It's important. So just tell your DM that, you appreciate it. You appreciate what they do. Just do it. Anyway.
They don't know that they don't know it. They just plunge ahead, assuming they're doing it right, and then over the course of years, they discover they were doing it super wrong the whole time. But you know what? They still had fun. So I get it. You don't like that feeling of, I'm not sure I'm doing this right.
I don't think I've done this one right.
Oh my god, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? Wow, we have a cutaway gag. Holy shit. Well, this is not something that I expect from a Coville video. What is happening? Ha! I'm sorry, I also forgot to read chat before. There are videos on how to play D&D though. That's also true. There are videos you don't have to be a master, you just have to be a gooder or an okayer, maybe even a badder or a middle of the roader, as long as it's not a Crispy's Tavern level of badder. True and true and true and true. Sorry, this is weird. Okay. It's so
That's
loud.
Fine. Doing it right doesn't earn you any points. No one comes to your house to congratulate you on playing your first session of Shadow Dark without screwing anything up. Actually, I would be very surprised if anybody coming from 5th edition is going to screw up Shadow Dark. It is very straightforward compared to the game you're already playing. So, relax. Enjoy the process of learning the new coolness. Don't stress about it. It's okay if you don't get it right the first time. The point is to have fun.
That's true, and that's good. That's a good sentiment. Like I was saying before, anybody can do it. It is, but I do understand that some people are going to stress about it. If I wasn't in my position right now, where I have experience, I would be super stressed to run something, because I feel like if I wasn't pushed to do it, I don't know if I would have. It's one thing that I'm very thankful for my first DM for doing. He actually just he said, yeah, here, you can do it, and really pushed me in the direction, because it was something that I had an interest in, but I was like, I don't know if I can do it, Yeah, I don't know. But at the same time, again, if you're a player and you just don't feel like you can, and you really are convinced of that and nobody can tell you otherwise, don't feel bad about that. Please. That's fine. That's fine. I don't know, like this, I don't know, man. This video is weird. And like I just ugh. I want it to be less the way that it is. I don't know, cuz again, so many things that I want to stress of just no one is obligated to do anything that like in any way that somebody like I don't know, it's just like that's you I don't know. You know, it just doesn't fucking it doesn't feel right to make somebody feel like they're obligated and they owe you something in this way. It just doesn't. And that it's okay to just be a player. It is. And it's okay to be frustrated if you're a DM and you're the only person who DMs for your group. That's okay too, and I empathize with you, and I really hope that things change for you. But obviously I don't want somebody coming in here and telling you, hey, fucking tell them to get fucked and you're running this shit now. And if they don't like it, then they can fucking run something else themselves. It's like, well, I don't want to breed that kind of hostility. That's weird. That feels very player versus DME. And it's not even that. It's just person to person. Person versus person. Ugh. If the many times I push back, my lore says anything, it might take me a while to be a good DM. I don't know. It's a video that I would not have believed Matt would make. So I believe that he's passionate enough to make something around this, but this specifically? Well, you are obligated to pay your taxes. That's true. That is true. Once you become an adult, that is true. But that's for the functioning of society, unfortunately. I don't know. It's you get what I mean, right? Like I don't know if I'm naive or if I'm seeing things in a way that isn't intended. I don't know if there's any like if what I'm saying is just bullshit. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I think, I guess, and I hope it resonates with somebody, right? Don't believe him, chat. The IRS isn't real and can't hurt you. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Anyway, let's continue.
But also, players, when your DM wants to try a new game, help them. Help them figure it out. Don't make them go it alone. Many hands make light work.
Sure.
Figure it out together. I think...
So who are you talking to at that point? Because you're not talking to the people that are unwilling to change in any way. You're just talking to people in general, which I would say, yeah, learn how your character works. This is what we were... Fucking remember back in the day when we first started this fucking show. We said, hey, you should read your player's handbook. And if you don't read your whole player's handbook, at least figure out how your character works. That way, you can help your DMs and figure it out together in that way. Right? Just be a little proactive in that way. Don't leave it to last minute. And if you have to, for whatever reason, fair enough. You know? This video makes me feel depressed and sad.
When we leave our comfort zone, we start deploying all this maladaptive behavior to torpedo the experience before we even get started, to make it okay. And not just okay, right and proper to give up on the new thing and go back to the old thing. But in fact, the more you join in, the more you participate with learning the new thing, the more fun you will have.
Well, who are you talking to? I agree that if you go in expecting to hate someone even, but something, that, yeah, it'll probably be that it lives up to your bias because you'll find reasons to do so. You should go into things neutrally. That is true. I try to go into just about everything neutrally and then figure it out from inside. Unfortunately, there are some things that I cannot because I have no faith in the property. Looking at you, Godzilla vs. Kong. Blech. Like, I just, like, you know. Yes. I don't know. Yeah. Good job. Who are you talking to? Are you talking to the children at this point? When you said I wouldn't want to ruin the game for everyone, that sounds just like the voice in my head that makes me a worrywart. Me too. That's me. Every fucking day. Legitimately, that is me as well. I wouldn't want to ruin it for everyone. That's me in most situations. Legitimately and truly. That's my brain. It doesn't let me stop thinking of that. But at the same time, I also have that part of me that I try very hard to promote more, which is the part that says, it'll be okay, you know, it's not going to ruin everything, it's going to be fine, right? That part of me is a lot smaller, but I try to listen to it here and there, right? That's all we can do. We can't be talking to the children. They should be in the mines. That's right. They yearn for the mines. And then they took that joke and put it in the goddamn Minecraft movie. And it made it so cringe. And now I hate that I can't reference it as much without it being tainted by the new thing. Anyway.
And spoilers, you like having fun.
Shut up.
There are things about the new game you won't understand. That's okay. That's normal. There are things that you think you don't like, but in fact, you just don't understand it yet. And as you play, you will realize you got it wrong and that actually it's pretty cool. So be open to the idea that this thing you think is weird and maybe you don't like might actually be something cool you just haven't figured out yet. Trying new games is fun, but there's no real commitment. There will be times when everyone's excited about a new game, you play it, and it's just not that cool, actually.
So there might actually be a real commitment in the sense of your time. I'm sorry, but that does matter. Your time is valuable. At the end of the day, we have a limited amount of it. We have a resource that we never get back. That is just true. Okay? There are certain shows that I have seen reviews for. There are certain movies that I've seen reviews for from people that have similar viewpoints to me and who can actually argue those viewpoints with evidence. And thus I take those opinions and I go, oh, thank you. I don't need to waste my time with this movie or this TV show, right? Some people might also be that way with how these games work. They might also have this time scheduled with something they know they'll have fun with, rather than something that they will try and not have fun with. Like, that's also fine. I get that it's frustrating, and I get that it's not always going to be true, right? It's something that I also am like, well, you should at least try it for D&D, or sorry, for TTRPG stuff, because it's so varied and so vastly different from a lot of different medias that you could have fun with it regardless of the fact. But at the same fucking time, I understand and would not begrudge somebody for saying, but no, I really just don't think it would be worth my time, because I'd rather just do the thing that I like doing that's fun for me, because this is how I like to de-stress. This is how I like to you know, not worry about life and the day and everything. You know? I was about to say maybe we could get Bowser versus Donkey Kong, but actually no, Bowser was owning Donkey Kong pretty hard in the movie. Still haven't seen it, but I do plan to. Fair enough. I would only watch the Minecraft movie because Jason Momoa is eye candy for me, just like when I watched Aquaman. Fair enough, but don't do it because they make him the butt of every joke and shit. So, just go watch Aquaman again, I guess. Or watch him in something that's actually good. I don't know. Anyway.
That's okay. Learning what you like and don't like is also fun. If you look for excuses not to get behind the screen or not to try this game your DM is excited by, you will always find them. I suspect you will see many of these excuses in the responses to this video in various places online. Here's my explanation for why actually not playing the game my DM wants to try is good. Here's why it's a good thing none of us ever try getting behind the screen so that our DM gets to play.
Okay, I really want to know if there's anybody who actually thinks that, like, that it's a good thing. I don't know about that one. That one just doesn't feel genuine. I don't know. Like, that's a weird one. I think nobody really cares about that reason. They just say instead, well, this is why I don't do it. Because of this reason and this reason. I'm not looking for excuses. These are just the reasons that I have, that I believe. And whether or not they're correct, you know, that remains to be seen, because I just don't feel like challenging those. And at the same time, like, I'm of two minds about that too. It's like, well, you should challenge that, but also I respect that you don't, because there's nothing that I can do and say that I haven't already done and said that can make you change your mind in that respect, right? So why even fucking bring it up? Why? I saw an indie werewolf movie with him in, and that was cool. Cool. I need more werewolf media. I like vampire media a lot, but there is werewolf stuff that I need to watch. Not a lot of good werewolf stuff either. I could see that being the title of a clickbait thumbnail. Yes, that's true. But at that point, that would be one of those ones that they go, actually, the title of this video is probably the thing that brought you here, and I'm here to tell you why that's wrong. Right? Because that's what it's for. Nobody fucking believes that. Unironically, it's just Garibay. He's like the only one who may think that. And even Garibay would not think that. No, you know what? There is a chance because, as he said, being called is a sacred thing that will throw you through broken glass or whatever the fuck. Right? So, anyway. The new Black Butler season has werewolves in it. I haven't watched Black Butler in forever, but fair enough.
What is the point of that? Is it that these folks feel like if they can get someone to run for them without ever getting behind the screen themselves, that they have somehow won? Like it's a contest? And
Why? What are you talking? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking about? No one says what you just said, and no one thinks this way. What are you doing?
and exploiting their friend is like getting something for free that you know you should have paid for?
Exploiting? We're exploiting people now? Why are you doing this? Why are you saying that being just a player is a fucking sin, basically? I'm exploiting somebody? Now, obviously, it's not, I'm not, because I run things and other people have run things for me. Our group, we all run things. The only one who hasn't run anything for anybody is Aiden, but I wouldn't, like, I don't give a fuck, man. That's what I would never think that about somebody. They're exploiting me? What the fuck is that? I'm sorry. It's just that's insane. Exploiting somebody as if I'm pirating something. That's really where we're going with this? You want to fucking lay off a little bit there, Coville? Jesus fucking Christ. What's going on with this video? I don't know. Hey, August. I just came into the chat for, and the first thing I hear is they're exploiting me. Are we talking about government or D&D? Apparently, if you're a player in a forever DM group and you never want to do anything in the sense of running something, you're exploiting them. If you're also, I guess, to be fair, if you're also of the opinion that it's good that you don't run things and all that kind of stuff, and it's good that we don't play other games besides D&D, because we don't want to try anything else. There's very specific criteria to this, but ultimately, we're making a straw man, because I don't believe that these criteria are met by anybody who is just a player in a game with a forever DM. Like, all of this criteria together. Like, I don't know. Like, it's fucking shit. I watch these streams, and I don't make any streams of my own. I deeply apologize for exploiting you, Alejo. Oh, God. It's just not okay, man. Like, absolutely not okay. Not you, obviously. It's the sentiment that's being bred because of this fucking video. I really hope, and I'm going to assume, that people aren't actually, they aren't actually doing, like, they aren't actually taking this as gospel, if you will. You know, they aren't actually acting upon this shit and changing their mindset to, think that this is the way people are, right? Because again, we can't do this. That's such shit. It's so fucking shit. Yeah. I don't stream either. Sorry, Papa. I'm not your dad. Alright.
I mean, sure, we've all done that in one scenario or another. I have definitely had the experience in my professional life of thinking, if I keep my mouth shut right now, work will get done without me having to do anything. But I think that is super different from when you and your friends are getting together to have fun.
Yeah, it is different. And also, okay, what are we doing?
This might just be me. I remember LAN parties. We would all bring our computers over to somebody's house. And this was back in the 90s and early 2000s when, well, for one thing, we still had LAN parties, but you couldn't just plug all your computers into a hub and expect everything to work. You would spend hours trying to figure out why Dave's computer can see Craig's and Craig's can see Mark's, but Mark's can't see Dave's. So you have to update everybody's Ethernet drivers, and then you have to update everybody's video card drivers. And what happened was, and this happened all the time, two people would finally get into the game, and they would stop trying to help and just start playing. With the result that eventually, there's one person who can't get into the game for some reason, and no one is helping them. Because everyone else, as soon as they could get into the game, they did.
Okay, so the 90s and 2000s were shitty, is what you're telling me. Yeah, first off, I mean, being alive during there and not knowing a lot of it, sure. Okay. Yeah, that feels shitty. If people are going to be completely selfish in that respect, yeah, that's shit. But I don't. I've not done that myself. I've not been a part of a group that was that way. Which I guess is just something I should be thankful for. I, I what? Okay. I'm glad I never lived through an age of LAN parties. I would have smashed many computers. They weren't that bad. From what I had done and what I remember, it wasn't that bad. What we did, in fact, the only thing that I can say that's a comparative experience is when literally, Brogan, Aiden, Boo, and I tried to play Monster Hunter together through an emulator. It was Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, through an emulator, and we had to get it on Hamachi, which is a program that makes it so you can get together and connect to an IP and all that kind of stuff. I believe that's how you can connect to each other through it. At least that's how it works. And some people still use it, which is hilarious to me. But we spent a good 4 hours trying to figure it out, trying to get the thing going, until we finally got it to work. And then we were all able to play together. But we were all working together because we wanted to all play together, you know? That's really what we wanted to do. So nobody just went, oh yeah, I'm in, and oh I'm in, and oh I'm in, and then just left somebody. I don't know. That's just this video makes me tired because it's a different experience. Doing a LAN party and playing D&D, there's not as much of a requirement, and also I don't know, man. I feel like we're just further demonizing somebody who doesn't want to run things because we're comparing them to somebody to people who just completely don't help somebody when they're in a LAN party, I guess. Like that's not necessarily the case, and that shouldn't be how you view somebody who is in a group who doesn't want to run things. I don't know. I don't like this video at all. I don't know if that's clear. It makes me feel sad. Anyway. Unfortunately, I have to make a few thousand video games first because of all these game developers I've exploited, right? Yeah, me too. No, actually, don't forget, if you pay for games, you're fine, though. That's the logic here, which, to be fair, technically true. Also, I'm in 5th grade. In 5th grade, I thought the name Landspool would be a great name for a cyberpunk hero. I now submit this to the public. That would be pretty good. I guess my plumber has the right to yell at me for the broken pipes I don't know how to fix. I guess I should have never called him. No, if you paid him, you're fine. There's a transaction of some point, so you're okay. So if you start paying your DMs, I guess it's fine. I guess. I literally just need to go use the bathroom now. I've been waiting here. I've been hoping that this wouldn't be so crazy, but I need to go for a moment. Just give me a second here and I will be right back. I need to I need to go. Hold on. Oh god. Okay. I'm back. Oh. I feel better. Physically. Jens, I broke the host. My bad. No. I'm just I'm good. Now you know how I felt after giving them the pointy hat videos. No, it's just I'm very disappointed with this video. It's Coville, who's usually quite good. As Aiden said before, we've covered a couple of things, but they can't all be home runs, right? They can't. Coville has lost his way. Like, this is, again, there are certain parts that I'm like, yeah, this is true, this is fine, this is whatever. But, like, most of this is just weird and strange, and I hate it. Breaking the host is how you prove you're a true fan. Please find a better way. Please. Alright. There's fucking 12 more minutes of this. Oh.
And now everything is someone else's problem. And I would be the one every time saying, no, we are not playing until everyone can play. We're going to figure out why Mark's computer can't see the game. And everybody would grouse and moan, but they'd do it. And it always baffled me that I was the only one who cared about this. As far as everybody else was concerned, if they couldn't get into the game, that was a problem we all needed to solve. But once they could get into the game, it was every man for himself. So I've experienced this behavior elsewhere. It is not unique to gaming tables.
Sure.
And like I said, this is probably not you. This is a minority of tables. But it's definitely a whole lot of the people I meet and talk to. Sure, there are people who...
At least, like, let me at least say that this is something that he acknowledges that is the minority of people. I will give him that much at least, but even so, the vitriol is very strange, you know? You know, Coville likes the sound of his own voice. Well, everybody usually likes the sound of their own voice. Usually. Sounds like he needs to meet better people, or maybe the problem is him. Well, so, no, because his initial story was all, these are the people that he meets who are fans of his that come to him, and he asks about things, and then they tell him this stuff. And again, that is, it sucks that that's a bunch of people that you've met. But you've at least acknowledged that it's a minority of people. But again, I don't want to make the claim that there are these people that are doing this for one reason specifically or another. I'm at least giving possibilities that I think are likely, or at least somewhat believable, as to why they might feel a certain way and why they might act a certain way. Okay? Until I actually know these people in one respect or another, I can't make any fucking, actual hard claims, and nor would I want to until that point, So, I do not like the sound of my own voice. It doesn't sound like my head voice at all. Well, that's why I said most. I might be wrong on that too. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just like, at this point, he's been playing the games for years. He's been a part of this hobby for years. And this is what he thinks, is the appropriate way to talk about this. This is how he thinks he needs to do it. That is what really bugs me at the end of the day. I don't think that, even though this is a very small group of people that might act a certain way, that I have no confirmation whether or not they do, you just have hearsay at this point. And again, not to say that you can't trust what people are saying, but regardless, it's something that we should, I don't know, not say that we're exploitative of other people about, because I don't think that's true, like, at all. The only way that would be the case is if they were being a huge douchebag and using the time to do other things rather than play, I guess, exploiting the time and efforts that you have for an ulterior motive, I guess. But that wouldn't be anything to do with D&D at all. Wouldn't be anything to do with fun at all. So why would we even have that enter the conversation about being a player and a DM? We don't need that. That doesn't help the situation at all. Like, you have to be careful with your language, your word choice. It gives a certain idea. It gives certain things that people will think. And I'm not, I'm not better than him in word choice. I fucking fumble the shit all the time. I've done it in the past. I've regretted some of the things that I've said in the past. But at least I try to be cognizant of it, And I wouldn't make this fucking video. I do ramble sometimes. Does that make it sound like I love my voice? No, you're fine.
Who should not get behind the screen. They do not have the temperament for it. I have known these people. They usually know themselves, and no one feels bad or weird about the fact that they never run. Nope, they do not have the temperament for it.
Okay.
Happy to have them as a player. But because there's a million different ways to GM, I think most players would make good DMs. And what are they waiting for?
I agree.
Now, having multiple directors in your group can cause drama. Of course it can. Every table is a table of people, and people are the source of drama. You can have tons of drama in a group with only one DM or no DM.
I'm taking a comfort drink of some dead billionaire, so not sponsored, but if you know, you know.
Lots of gaming groups just play normal tabletop games every week, and there is drama. I would say the unique drama you get when suddenly you have more than one DM is the fact that now everyone at the table has a favorite. That's also okay. That's natural. It's okay to think, wow, I really like it when she runs, but I find I don't really like it when she runs. In my experience, we tend to put too much responsibility on the DM to be the one who is the source of fun. We, as players, have some power and therefore some responsibility there.
Yeah, I agree. In the fact that players can add to it, but I don't know, man. I guess if this is a sentiment that is common, then stop it. That's all I can say. You respect the other people, respect their time, and respect them, obviously, and know that the fun is a two-way street, because what you do in the game will make it so that the person running the game is having fun, and all the other players are having fun. Like, it's obvious shit. I don't know. It's so obvious that your choices are going to affect the fun levels, I guess, but not necessarily something that needs to be thought about all the time, I guess. Only in certain circumstances where it's like things that might detract, I guess, in the sense of something like intercharacter stealing, if you've got a rogue and all that kind of stuff, which is where talking comes into play, actually discussing these things with your other players and saying, hey man, do you think that this is okay for me to do with my character because he's, a kleptomaniac? Like, that's part of his character, but I don't want to make it so that you you get real upset or anything because I'm just taking shit from you. So, it's a little, it's just something that I want to make sure you're okay with, right? Stuff like that, you just have a conversation about, and you can avoid that kind of drama and shit. I don't know, man. there have been times where I've played games or I've run games and people have had out of character drama come into a game. There's one time specifically that I remember it happening where two players were doing something. One player just didn't trust the other player. This was over voice. He just didn't trust the other player's roles and was really just super questioning it every time. And this was something that would happen all the time. And at that point, I was running something, but I got fed up with it, and I just said, all right, guys, you have shit you got to work through. I'm done. Like, this is just something that I do not want to listen to anymore, and I do not care, and we're done. I need to go. And then I left. And they apologized to me later, but I just said, no, you just need to figure your shit out. You do. And that was that, you know? Because, you know, these days I'm less, I guess, tolerant at that point, because it's like, what are we doing here? You know? What are we doing here? Why is this the case? It really depends on the situation, I guess. But at that point, I was so tired of it, because it was just something I didn't want to deal with. Anyway. And that was between a person who had DM'd and one who hadn't at all. So, I don't know, man. Friends are gonna give drama as well. Everybody's gonna give drama, but it's whatever. I don't know. What the fuck are we talking about? I guess I do like the sound of my own head voice, though, enough that I don't actually know what Coville's been saying for a bit now.
Most RPGs, especially most modern RPGs, even if you don't love the way this director runs their game, even if you don't love these rules, you can still love playing your character. That is something you have control over. Mm-hmm. Remember, who your character is not defined by the rules. It's defined by you. The rules are an imperfect translation of your character, who is a person, into the rules of this game.
Agreed.
So if you make a character you enjoy playing, meaning you enjoy their personality and attitude, then you have more fun, period. And if the game isn't awesome, you still have fun just being this person. That part is wholly under your control.
What are we doing? Where are we? What happened? Did I miss something? Why are we here? Who are we talking to anymore? Favoritism happens, you might not like a game, but just remember that you can still have fun. For many different reasons. Okay?
Also, I think something people underestimate is how effective it can be to just play along. Take the game and your new director on their terms. Don't require the game to be...
Why are we calling them a director, by the way? Is that... what is that? I'm just presenting situations. I'm not directing people in how to act. I'm not directing anything. I guess I'm directing the game? Like the actual world, technically? I don't like it. I don't like it as a term. It doesn't feel right to me. Like, I don't know. There's something about it. I'm not sure how much this video has to do with Forever DMs. Apparently a lot.
Be run on your terms. Maybe I should say meet them and the game halfway. If you decide, I am going to give this game a shot, even though it sure seems like it's not my bag, but I'll play along and I'll sort of fake it, you will discover that sometimes when you do that, you end up having actual fun.
What? Yeah, no shit. Okay. Okay, I'll get to that. That one makes me laugh. I'm not sure. Right. Also, Anime Statue of Liberty came up on Pinterest and ruined my life. Oh, jeez. This is why I don't have a Pinterest. I don't have many things. Anyway, we're in the Coville cinematic universe. Oh god, the CCU. Oh my goodness. I don't think this video has a point. I think he just wants to yell at clouds. That one made me laugh. I like that. I just want him to stop explaining some of the simple shit to no one, right? I want him to stop explaining that shit to no one, because this is supposed to be about people. Like, if you are talking to the people that aren't running games and you're trying to convince them otherwise, and you're talking to the people who don't want to run other games and you're trying to convince them otherwise, I guess, that's the only time where it's like, maybe that's why this is here and relevant, I guess, in the sense that this is something that they've never considered and heard before, I guess. They've never, done anything before, I guess, that they've never wanted to do. But once they participated and played along, then they figured out if they actually did like it or not. Apparently that's something that's never been the case for any child, I guess. Well, I don't know. It's so much some kid shit that I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I'm coming at this from the wrong perspective. Maybe this is something that needs to be said to somebody. Sure. I don't know. It doesn't feel like you're talking to adults, I guess. That's a big thing that feels like, at least right now.
But okay, maybe you're not having fun playing in this person's game. That can happen even in a group with one DM.
True.
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do when you are simply not having fun? Well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you because I do not know you or your table, and I am neither able nor particularly willing to audit your game. Group.
Why does this not apply to anything you said before?
Groups fall apart all the time. It's normal. Things don't always work out. But generally speaking, if you, as a player, work to make anyone who wants to run feel welcome and encouraged, you will have fun. This might help. Do not expect your new DM to run like your old DM. For one thing, that's not going to happen anyway. But also, you may initially find this new DM's style really jarring. Again, try playing along. Look at it this way. You have two choices. Either complain that the new DM isn't like your old DM, or find a way to enjoy the new weirdness. Celebrate those differences. If someone gets behind the screen for the first time, even if you end up not enjoying it, try being supportive, because, spoilers, people get better at DMing the more they do it.
That's true. Hey, there you go. That's true. On the flip side, if you're not having fun, and you don't think that you're going to continue to have fun, you can leave the group if you're a player. That is true. It's an option. And again, I understand that it's not always easy, but it is an option that you can consider doing. Maybe it'll make things worse, maybe whatever, I don't know. Could make things better too. Could just make things better. I don't know. There's a possibility there for any decision that you make to make anything happen. That's the reason why I say that you can just leave the groups, that you can just stop doing something for somebody. It might suck, but it's an option. It is there. Start my own group with blackjack and hookers. Yes. Who wants every DM to run games the same way? I don't know. I don't know who he's talking to. I get that people have expectations, but how many people think the new DM will run things the same as the old one? I know, right? Alejo, you can't leave the group. D&D is like the army. You have to serve your time in the campaign, otherwise you go to jail for trying to abandon it. True. That's true. It's true. I don't know, man. I'm very tired now.
If you bail out of somebody's first session as a DM because you're not having fun, you are missing the opportunity to have a lot of fun once they have their sea legs under them, so to speak.
Okay. So I would like to tell you about one game that I played with a first-time DM. I've told this story before. I've told this story before where I was with this group and somebody wanted to try to DM. And we went along with it. That's fine, right? And the person, you know, we all made our characters and stuff. And as soon as we really started, we were in this town, and we were in this tavern and everything, and there was this quest giver. And my character wanted to haggle for more money and failed at it. I'm sorry. Even before that. Okay. So so the tavern was in this town, and we were oh god, it was even before that. Oh my god, I'm remembering more of it. Sorry. It's less fresh in my memory. I know I told a more fresh account of it episodes ago. So we were going to this town to meet with somebody who was a quest giver. Didn't know about that necessarily entirely at the time, but we were going to start walking around the city and try to, like, see about things that were in the city. And the DM straight up told us, there's nothing else interesting in the town, just go to the tavern. That's where you need to go. And we went, oh, okay. So we went into the tavern and then talked to the one guy, basically, who was the only important person, who then I tried to haggle with for more money. Didn't get to do that because I failed, which is fine. That's not an issue at all. And then we were sent to go and kill some fuck. What are the little frog guys called? They're not. It's not the Kuato. It's the other little. It's the little frog guys who are. I don't remember what they're called. Grungs, maybe. I don't remember. Anyway, doesn't matter. We were sent to go kill these guys because they were in this cave that was a little ways away, and we were going to stop bullywugs. Thank you, bullywugs. Bullywugs that were in this cave that were, making the place less hospitable. And we go onto this path to go towards the cave. And we get to a crossroads. And he says, okay, left or right? And we're like, left goes down the way, continues on the path, and right goes through the forest. And we said, oh, okay, we'll go through the forest. That's interesting. So we go through the forest, and we get attacked by some plants, some plants that were upset or something. And we said, okay, we fight the plants, get through, and then the path just goes and turns back onto the main road. It's literally just a side path. That's it. And this might be me making this up, but I seem to remember the person saying that was the only, like, that it didn't matter which path we went on, that encounter was going to happen either way. I have that in my memory, though I'm not sure if that's real now in my brain. I would have to go back and listen to when I told the story initially, because it has been so long since this happened. But regardless, it didn't matter, is the main point of the choice there. The same encounter and stuff would have happened regardless. That's the main point. And then when we got to the cave, we fought the bullywugs, and we wanted to check around the cave. And so the person says, okay, each of you choose a direction. And we went, okay. So we each chose a direction, and the person says, okay, you, in this direction, you find the chest. It's like, okay, sure. So we find the chest, we get some stuff, we go back and tell them that we're done and get paid. And that was the session. And I didn't have fun that session. They were brand new at running things. Absolutely, they could have gotten better had they run more stuff. I'm sure they're very good now. I'm sure they've run a shit ton of things now. But that doesn't mean that I wanted to play with them after that, and I would probably have, after they had some experience, maybe, I would have gone and played with them again, potentially. But at least from my first impression, I was like, huh, okay. Not an experience that I want to have again. I'm sorry, but it's not. Because I had expected at least a little bit more from somebody who had played in the same games that I had been playing in, for a little while there. I had joined the group later, and the person had been a part of the group longer than me. Probably since the inception, if I had to guess, if not a little bit into it. So they had experienced what the DM of the group, usually who was the DM, had put forth. And so I would have assumed that they had a little bit more knowledge on how the game worked and how to run a game in that kind of way of a story, in a way, right? Even though it was just a one-shot, at least something, you know, not having a path that doesn't matter which, if you go left or right, not doing things in a way that you don't utilize skills or anything, not having it so a town itself has just one thing in it, really, in general, like, I get that it was a one-shot, and it was the first time the person had done this, but it was an experience that I didn't want to repeat. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I also can equate this a little bit to, it gets good in the first 100 episodes. I don't know, that kind of argument, a little bit, like, I understand, and again, D&D is different. Tabletop RPGs are different, don't get me wrong. They are different. People get better as they continue to attempt to run things and improve and really, you know, get their feet under them. That is true. I just personally am not looking for the experience of being a subject to that necessarily. Maybe I don't know. That's not entirely true, because I would like to offer tips and guidance to people who are new, if I were to play under them and I noticed some stuff. But I guess it was just that one time with that one person that I was just like, no, I don't want this. This is not something that I want at all. And I just don't. I'm not the person to fix this, I guess. Neither does anybody need to be necessarily, as well. Let's be fair. But I don't know, man. It's I wouldn't blame somebody for leaving a group if they just did not have a good experience at all, I guess, is my ultimate point. And I don't think you should.
Except seals don't lay eggs, so I don't really know what that means. In other words, it can be useful to be supportive of someone who's not awesome, because sometimes that means they get awesome eventually. The number one
again, that's fine to do. I'm fine with doing that. It's just whether or not I want to, whether or not I have the time, and whether or not I have the energy. Game Master training sounds like an idea. The videos exist, that's the thing. There's so many things on the internet now that you can just go and point to and say, this is pretty good. Look at this. This gives like a lot of good tips and ideas. Whoa. You know?
reason I think why players should get off their ass and get behind the screen. It solves DM burnout. It super solves it. You will get to play more and more consistently if, when someone's burned out of DMing, someone else steps up. Nothing will recharge your DM's batteries faster than playing in another DM's game. Maybe yours. Because while you, who are new, are running your first session, your DM is sitting there thinking, oh man, I would have done this totally different. And that makes them itch to get back behind the screen.
That could also backfire and make them go, oh, this sucks. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm fairly done with this video. I apologize. It's just workshop training though, learning by doing, that would be fun. I would like to be a player in games if somebody was willing to listen to my spiels after the fact, if I found something to be what is the word that I'm looking for? Something that could be improved upon.
Also, I find I get better as a DM when I play with other DMs. The last person who ran for me was Phil, his game, Valengard, and the whole time I was thinking, wow, he is so much better at this than I am. I saw lots of ways I could be better.
That's fair.
If you take a new game on its own terms and play along, basically, you will discover there are lots of games you actually like a lot. Most of my favorite albums, they only became my favorite albums after listening to them over and over again. Yeah, while I was doing other stuff sometimes, homework or cleaning the house, but eventually, over time, the songs revealed themselves to me, and I fell in love.
Sure, I like the... By the way, may I say, in terms of music, I have a recommendation that I don't know if Aiden has made on the show already, but he made it to me personally at one point, apparently. I don't remember this happening, but I had an inkling that this was the case, and he confirmed it. If you have ever listened to, or ever want to listen to some metal, look up Beast in Black. I love their music. I do not have a complaint about any song of theirs that is currently out at this moment. Legitimately, I'm in love with their discography. Even somebody like Ghost, even some bands like Ghost, I have a couple of songs here or there that I'm like, I don't really like that. Mummy Dust, not my favorite. But with Beast in Black, I can highly recommend some of my favorites, being From Hell with Love is one of my favorite songs from them. Blind and Frozen is very, very good. It's a second favorite. If not, it sometimes surpasses. It depends. Ghost in the Rain is beautiful. I love it. Fuck, what is the other, why can't I remember what it is? I do not have a complaint about any of their songs, is what it is. I'm bad at remembering song titles unless I've listened to them a shit ton. Hold on. I'm sorry, it's my compulsive nature. I need to tell you the one that I can't remember, because I'll know it when I see it. Ocean Deep. Ocean Deep is another one that I very much like. But there's all of them are so good. So good. From what I have heard. Now looking at this, there's a couple of songs that I actually haven't heard. I think? No, I have heard that. Okay. That's different art. Anyway. Highly recommend Beast in Black. Please, if you like metal, don't skip out. Anyway. Kind of sounds like me listening to Who by Jimin. I don't know them. Love that song. Nice. Like Beast in Black 2? Hell yeah. I recommend Lord of the Lost. I love most of their stuff. Cool, cool. Like the metal covers of video game music, personally, that probably comes as a shock. No, metal covers of video game music are usually rad. Absolutely. Hell yeah. Anyway, let's continue, I think.
I do basically believe in love at first sight, but I also believe you can fall in love over a period of time.
Sure.
I gave myself that time because I already loved this band and this was their new album.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you already love your friends. So give yourself some time to see what made them excited to run this new game.
Okay.
I get this all the time. Folks show up in chat on Twitch and they ask if I would play whatever their favorite RPG is. And mostly I think they just want to see me get excited about something they love. But my answer is, I get excited to play whatever my friends want to run.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes me excited. Oh, you want to run this for me? Then I want to play.
Yeah, no, that's a good mentality. I think a lot of people have that when they're in the hobby. In fact, most people, as he's already basically admitted to, but also don't demonize the people that don't, I guess, is my thing. Oh, Jimin. Okay. Member of BTS. That's why I didn't recognize. Yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about then. I've never listened to no, that's not true. I have listened to some BTS because of somebody that I used to know. It's okay. I think it's fine music. It's not my thing. I've never listened to Who though, but glad that you like it. I see that there's a meme. True. Hold on. A rare image of a player exploiting their DM. Matt Coville was right. Oh, Jesus. How'd you find that? All right.
There are lots of systems or settings I don't care for or I think are actively not good.
Okay.
But if somebody I knew was excited to run it, I would get excited to play because they're excited.
Sure.
If you are one of those folks who wished your group would try new games, here's some advice. First, it's not really your job to convince them that this game or that game is fun. It is the game's job to do that. We see this all the time in our Discord. Folks are excited about our new game.
Okay.
And they show up looking for advice on how to hook their players. And we always say this.
So mentioning one, so you don't have to be all coy about it. First off, you've already announced that it's a thing. I think it's the MCDM game, right? Is that like I don't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head. But you've already announced what it was, and you can fucking mention it, dude. It's fine. It's not going to distract people entirely from what you're doing here. But also, I would rather them be distracted from your fucking video right now. Okay? Show that to meme to Boo. Oh, don't worry. Boo will see it. Absolutely. Yeah, don't demonize people. It's a real pain to constantly have to train them all. True.
The same thing. Wait until the book is out and it looks amazing with all the art and layout and just put the books in front of them. Let them look at it. I think a lot of DMs are also engineers.
So buy the book, put it in front of them, make sure, like, it's fine. We've already gone over there's a financial aspect that you can't necessarily expect to always be met.
By which I mean folks who get excited by cool new game mechanics. Mm-hmm. But players generally are not engineers. And while they can get excited about new mechanics, it's not the main thing that motivates them. Mechanics can be abstract, and it's often hard to understand how this rule someone is talking about works.
True.
It's much easier just to play it and see.
True.
I see this all the time. DMs talk up a new game by talking about the cool rules they're excited by, then they're sad when their players simply do not care. I think that's because players mostly get excited about the characters they can be and the things they get to do. So in my experience, the best thing you can do to hook players is just show them the character building rules with all the art so they can see what kinds of heroes they can be.
Sure.
I still remember falling in love with Shadowrun and the idea of playing a rigger who is a hacker that specializes in vehicles. So I'm not as good at hacking as a dedicated decker, but I'm a way better driver. I spent my money on a cool deck and a badass bike and like a real cyberpunk bike and a cool helmet and just being this dude who lived in the future, this neon Blade Runner future where I look cool and mysterious and have a dope anime bike. And just looking at all the cool sci-fi gear was a really powerful fantasy.
Sure.
The rules? Well, they were, weird. I think those first rules, a normal human could easily survive a point-blank shot from an autocannon. I think I remember that, but we didn't care. We didn't even notice that. We were just having fun being these characters in this world. So if you're excited by a game, show it to your players. Show them the game, art and all, and let them look through it. Let them fall in love with something. Don't try selling them on the mechanics. That might work. You know your players better than I do.
True.
But mechanics sound better when you're already in love. I think that's the video, folks. I started making D&D.
Jesus Christ. So he says that I think that's the video. There's still 2 minutes and 38 seconds left. So it's not the whole video. Which is fine. You can still have your outro minutes. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Necessarily. I'm so ready to be out. I thought this wouldn't take as long as it has, but holy shit, this has taken almost 3 hours, to do. And I hate it. Draco Kraken, why did you do this to me? Why did you make me feel this way? Why did you do this? I also recommend the guitarist Buckethead. So badass. Okay. I'm very slow at getting into new music just because I really like to listen to shit over and over until I need something new. And that's why I've only been listening to Beast in Black over and over. So it might take me a bit. I'm a living Faustian bargain. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. All right, let's finish this out, please.
D&D videos because I saw how reluctant people were to get behind the screen.
True.
Well, I think we made a difference there. We helped create a lot of new DMs. But what I've noticed in the years since then is mostly it's just one DM per group. And I think that is suboptimal.
Sure.
Players, it's up to you. Your DM will have more fun if you give running the game a shot. And you will find you have more fun. And soon, eventually...
What if... So... They will find that out? No, not necessarily. I'm sorry to be pedantic, but you should say that they can have more fun running a game, because sometimes some people will find it to be incredibly stressful to the point that it isn't fun anymore. That's just statistics. I'm sorry. You just need to make sure that you don't put it in their head like that it will always be the case. You just need to make sure that you give yourself some wiggle room. Just for your own sake, not even theirs. Because if somebody does get, starts doing this shit and then just gets completely overwhelmed, maybe even has a panic attack because of it, I don't know. Like, it could be something that gets so stressful that it could cause an actual upsetting experience for them. You don't want to be responsible for that. You just don't. And not to, be super negative in that way, but like, I really think that it's important. Again, word choice, word usage. It's something that you need to be careful with. You do need to be careful with it. While I do say, and I do mean it, everyone and anyone can DM. They can do it. I'm not saying that they should.
You will start playing other games that might be even more fun. I want to say, whatever game you're playing, if everyone's happy, that's all that matters. This video is about what happens when one person wants to try something else and everyone else refuses to even give it a shot.
That's not.
If you ever listen to
that's not what the video is. Not just about that.
drummers talk about Ringo Starr, they all say the same thing. Someone asks them if Ringo was a good drummer, which is a very pop culture question to ask. And any drummer you ask will tell you he was brilliant. Because real drummers, any real musician will tell you it doesn't matter what instrument you play.
Okay.
Your job is to serve the music. That's why Ringo was the only guy who could have been the Beatles drummer. His drum parts all lift the songs up. I think that's all of our jobs when we're at the table with our friends playing games. Am I serving the music?
Yeah, man, sure wish you titled the video like that. Yeah, true. Again, like, just like I said, I gave you a title. You know, I gave you a title. I'm sorry. Let's finish this out.
My friend wants to try another game. How can I help? There's nothing virtuous about trying different games. If you've been playing the same game forever and everyone's happy, that's all that matters.
Oh. There's nothing virtuous about telling people that they're exploiting other people when they don't want to run games for them.
But often, not everyone is happy, and that's where this video comes in. Because I think there is something virtuous about serving the music, about everybody at the table thinking about everyone else's fun. Cannot wait to see the responses to this one. This is a lot more preachy than I usually get, but it's only because I feel really strongly about this. I already know we're going to say people saying, oh, it's not okay to bully somebody who's complaining about D&D, but it is okay to bully somebody into getting behind the screen. People will say that. It is just another way to avoid dealing with the issue.
But you've promoted that. But you've literally promoted that by saying that they're exploiting shit. Are you kidding me? No. Take responsibility. The words you have used have given the implication that they are lazy assholes. So why don't you just say that's not what I'm going for? Even though you use the words. You used the fucking words. I think he forgot what video he was making. Probably, I don't know. Am I serving the music? Indeed. My takeaway here is that I should never invite Morgoth to D&D. True. He would be a dick. My god. Or he would be too oppressive as a DM. If you want to laugh, check out Ringo's solo disco album. Oh god, is that a thing? Anyway, he used the fucking words. Don't ever forget, he used the fucking words that make it so that people can feel like it's okay to bully people about this. Like, he's exploiting such a word to use. How? It feels like there's a missing portion of the video. A little bit, yeah.
Any reasonable person would watch this video and imagine I'm trying to bully anyone into anything. But that's okay.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm unreasonable for thinking about your words. I, as a person, knowing you and knowing other content that you have made, can at least understand that is not your intention. But that's because I have context. Somebody who just stumbles across this might not have that context. And they just listen to the words. And yes, you're saying it at the very end, but man, this is 35 minutes of really, really weird, like, material. Not saying that 35 minutes is very long as, like, a video to watch. Hell, we're at 3 hours and 5 minutes, almost 6 now. Not to say that in the slightest. That's not what I'm appealing to. What I'm appealing to is the fact that they might already have gotten what they needed and left. because you didn't really signpost this very well, and it's weird. Right, he'd want a DM, it would end up on Crispy's Tavern, true. Hades, Kid Icarus would probably be good at DMing, though. Maybe.
I believe this video will make a difference.
It might.
Some people. Maybe not a lot, maybe only a few.
Then why did you complain about complaining? Like, why did you say,
will see this video and think, I should get off my ass and run. For those few people, that will be a life-changing decision. And it's not just their lives that will be changed, it's everyone at the table. And that's worth dealing with the trolls. Until next time, folks.
Shut up.
Peace out.
Horrible. What a horrible video. You can tell I tuned out of the video when I started talking about Ringo's solo albums. That's fair. That's fair. I'm sorry. If I'm wrong in some way, please tell me. I don't... This video is so weird. It's not intentionally manipulative, but there's some language in there that is extremely poorly used. Okay? It boggles my mind, this video now. Oh god. Okay. Well, we've made it, everybody. Thank you for joining me for the video portion of the show. I'm not going to a second video. This has emotionally drained me. So I'm going to move on to comments. So, let's just do that. I need something else in my being, in my life, in my experience right now. That being comments. So, we start off with Timothy last week saying, "Hello, bros. Hello. Still working on lore. In other news, this might be the most watched episode. I clocked 21 viewers. Yay! 22 next week, maybe. Have a nice day." That's right. Thank you for everybody who came by last week. It was probably our most live viewed episode. And it seemed to be doing some numbers before I checked. I haven't checked in a minute, but I hope that it was interesting, at least for all the new people who came by and stuck around. So thank you. But yeah, it's doing okay. Also, we have a few and far between commenter. I remember you, Ty Paulette 6883 on last week's video. I remember you. I feel the need to comment. Fair enough. I am sorry, I do not enjoy his voice. He sounds simultaneously nervous and bored, and it upsets me. Fair enough. Also, hello again, bros. I know my messages are rare and far between since I last messaged on a video. I'm messaging here and now to express my profound irritation. Not with you guys, don't worry. I'm just irritated in general. Anyway, thank you for being entertainment amongst everything weird. Yeah, hey, you're welcome. Keep being your tired, angry, and confused selves. You guys constantly sound like you are one of those three. It's not an intended insult. Thank you. I'll go back to listening to you guys on Spotify now later. Hey, no worries, Ty. Or Typo. Typolet? I don't know. Is it Typolet or is it Ty Paulette? Is it Typolet? That would make more sense. Either way, thank you for commenting, and hey, enjoy the Spotify audio-only stuff. I apologize that last video was pretty dry, sounded a little bored. That is fair. At least you were entertained. at least somewhat. And hey, yeah, if you're out there and you want to go to listen to us on Spotify, you can with audio only stuff. So go follow on Spotify. It's also on Apple Podcasts. Leave us hey, if you've been watching us for a good long while and you have you have an opinion on the rating of our fucking show, go leave a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and all that. That's something that people say, right? Do that, please. Give us whatever stars. If you think we're a 1, if you think we're a 3, a 2, a 4, or a 5, doesn't matter to me. Maybe it should, but yeah, leave us a rating, okay? Thank you. And that's all the comments. Thank you. Alejo was all 3 today, tired, angry, and confused. Yes, although not in that order. It really started with confusion, got into anger, then tiredness, then anger, and then tiredness some more. Mostly I was done by the end. It's true. Anyway, that's all the comments. So I'm going to move on to talking about some stuff for supporting us. Obviously, if you're brand new here, you can come in and subscribe. That's the easiest way to support us. Subscribe and continue watching the show. Watch all our other stuff if you want to. Leave likes, leave comments, whatever the fuck. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your dad. But I can suggest things, right? I can suggest things. I can be suggesting. Regardless. No, I'm not your dad. You! Hey, you! You're here now? Guess what? We have a website. It's in the description. It's also in the description of the audio only version. Go over to our website. That is www.tabletalkd&d.us, I believe. It's been a hot minute. Let me look at the URL that I totally have right here. Yup, that's it. And you can see all this information that we've got here for you to look at. It's I don't know why this one is on this side, whereas it's not on. But anyway, so about us, the schedule, everything that we've got going on, current campaigns and shit, the active live sub counter that you can see and all that kind of shit. You can watch number go up when you subscribe. Whoa! All right, I'm done with that. But regardless, it's a bunch of stuff that you can see, all of the stuff that we've done, as well as support us further through the support us further page. That being, as I will go through things that I will talk about here. So you can, oh yes, also you can join our Discord through the homepage and everything. I think it's at the bottom here. Yeah, you can join the Discord and you can absolutely suggest videos to destroy our minds. Absolutely, that is true. Let me also, if you would, let me promote our other podcast, which is still part of the main channel here. Obviously, I haven't broken it into a different channel or anything, but we do have another audio only version of the podcast, being the TableTalk crew, which is our ttrpg campaigns. It's going to be our future ttrpg campaigns and the one that we're doing right now, which is Vampire. So go and you can sub to that show to go and listen to all the stuff that way as well, if you don't want to watch it on YouTube. And you can see all the other campaigns that we've done here on YouTube that are there. They haven't been put up on the audio-only version, and they probably won't. So those will only be here on YouTube. But yeah, the TableTalk crew. Go and search that up. That is the podcast. The audio-only version. Anyway, join the Discord and suggest mind-destroying to Alejo so Slanesh can be empowered. As a follower, I can't help but be part of it. Mind-destroying videos. Oh, right. Yeah, right. Anyway, So on the support us further page, you have many ways that you can support us further if you wish. You are not obligated to, obviously. Please don't feel that you are. We've appreciated everything that everybody has done to support us further, but again, it's not an obligation. Just it is there if you want to do it. First off, we have our Patreon and our Ko-fi. Both of them allow you to become a table flipper, like these lovely people here, and you can have a role in our Discord. You can be a part of games when I run them, which hasn't been for a little while, but I do want to do more of them when I have more time, which who knows when that'll be, legitimately. But there's that. There's the editing streams for Vampire that you can go and watch, and you can talk to me during if you want to. Even just get behind the scenes looks at what I'm putting in and everything, the process, suggestions potentially if you want to, and you can see videos early when they're done. So when Vampire is done tomorrow, it will be there for the table flippers to see first, so that they can look through it, and you can even tell me if I fucked something up. It's great. It is a thing. So that can be either through Patreon over at patreon.com/TableTalk Crew, or you can go over to the Ko-fi at Ko-fi, technically, ko-fi.com/TableTalk Crew. Both of them, same exact things. You can just be a flipper on one or the other, or both, I guess, but you don't have to do that. Please don't spend your money wisely. Anyway, big thank you goes out to our tier 4s, that being Draco Kraken, Rick, aka Unit Rico, and Steely, for being in tier 4, the Table Flipper Golds, for so long, for giving us the money of the $15 every month. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And a thank you goes out to Crimson Rose as well. You sure you want to thank me? Yes, I do, Draco Kraken. I still appreciate you, even though you hurt me today. Thank you to Crimson Rose for tier 2 for $5 every month. Really appreciate you as well. Thank you. And a thank you goes to our tier 1 contributor, because for as little as $1 a month, you can be shown off in videos, and you can be thanked and be a part of the table flippers. So as little as $1 if you want to. Again, it's not an obligation. You will see the content when it comes out and everything. So there you go. Then, of course, we have, let me go over here. We have the Fourth Wall Shop that we have now in effect. You can go over there. Link in the description for everything that I've been talking about, of course, and we'll talk about. You can go over there and get our custom dice on there. You can get coasters with each of the hosts' faces on them. You can get the mug, and also, if I refresh, it should give us this. Yes, there it is. We now have the TableTalk Crew logo on a mouse pad. I also am going to put another mouse pad on there for the regular Table Talk Discussion and Discourse logo, and I'm going to put it on there for Secret Thing coming up. So be excited if you want a new mouse pad, hey? Up to you, of course. It's just the logo on a mouse pad. That's all it is. But if you want a new mouse pad and you want to as I put it in the description, whoa, look, it's a mouse pad with all our faces on it. That's crazy. Run your silly little laser mice all over it and blind our PFPs. So you can go and blind each of our little PFPs if you want to, with your little mouse, because it's got a little laser on it when it moves around and all that shit. So that's a thing. Obviously the mug and the other stuff. I have these coasters and I'm literally using them every day. They are pretty good quality, and I use these dice whenever I need to use actual numbered dice. We've got a bunch of them out there, and yeah, you can go get that for $15 even for those, $10 for those. You can see all the pricing and stuff, you know. How do you know I'm not using a trackball mouse? Well, then you can just be rolling your almost said it. Ooh, that could have been a clip that I had said on the internet. Never mind. Woo! Anyway, that's the -tabletalk-crew-shop.fourthwall.com. We're hoping to one day have the shelf that's under a video, under our videos. But that's a thing in the future. So just keep watching our content, and it'll be a thing when it is. Anyway, so next up is you can donate to us directly through PayPal. That's another way. Obviously, you don't have to. That's just another thing. You can support us using our link. Like I said, living Faustian bargain. You can support us using our affiliate link to Humble Bundle. We are partnered with them, and we get a percentage commission if you utilize that link and then buy stuff through it. Humble Bundle is a great site. Right now, there's a great fucking bundle with Dredge and the Tomb Raider remasters and everything in it for the Choice bundle. It's not for very much longer, so if you're listening to this right now, it is like only a few days away, I think. Or it's already over. I don't know. It's until the end of the month, so not too long. By the time this goes out, it will still be up for like a day, 2 days. Anyway, aside from that, though, good bundles out here. We've got Return to Metroidvania, which is a bunch of Metroidvanias, obviously. Do we have any obvious TTRPG things? Well, let me go into the actual books bundles here and tell you. Oh, Vampire Hunter D. I've been meaning to watch that. We don't have. In fact, this is one of those rare times that TTRPG stuff is not in a book bundle. But regardless, if you buy books, games, software bundles, or if you get anything on the actual store itself, you can help support us by a slight. I think it's like 4 to 5% commission. I can't remember now what I've said before, but I think it's 4%, or 5%. It's one of those. Regardless, go and utilize Humble if you want to. And if you want to use our link to help support us, please do. Again, not an obligation. It's just a way that you can help. Then, of course, last but not least, we are also affiliated with Drive-Thru RPG, Fiction, Comics, and Cards. Drive-Thru RPG is the main one that I will show off, of course, but each of these links goes to each of these sections that you can go and find whatever your heart desires in those sites. Well, not what I don't know what is all throughout it, but you can find a lot of cool shit, okay? Because Drive-Thru RPG is actually a pretty cool place to go and get a bunch of content that people have made for a whole shit ton of systems. So absolutely go and check out Drive-Thru RPG through our link. We also get a commission that way as well. That one I don't remember off the top of my head because it's newer and I haven't done it. I haven't looked at it in a little while. But regardless, it's within 15 days if you utilize the link. However, whichever link you want to use for RPG, for comics, for fiction, for cards. Within 15 days, you will, if you make a purchase using the link, that will then give us a commission. So, and I know for a fact there's this cool little RPG, not RPG, this cool little tactical game that's on there that is, hold on, what my brain is actually and actively forgetting what it's called. I'm bad. I just want to promote something that I really enjoy. Where is it? Is it that one? Is it? Where is it? Why am I? Yeah, there it is. Huh, I got there. Okay. There's this cool little Contact Xenos. I'm pretty sure it's on here. If I had to guess, right? Oh Jesus, come on. Uh, well, for some reason mine isn't actually like getting me there. That's annoying. Oh, there it goes. Hey, there's this cool little game called Contact Xenos that's on there that's pretty fucking good by a friend of a friend, uh, who and I really like it. And it's miniature agnostic and it's pretty fun. Played it a few times with a couple of cool people. You can go there and get that for you can just get the PDF or you can get an actual book if you want. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Anyway, there's a lot of cool stuff on Drive-Thru RPG. So please go and check it out. Use our link if you want to. And all of that. Honestly surprised that the site was trolling me there. That's true. Honestly surprised by Coville's video, I have to say at the end here. Like not in a good way, obviously. You've heard me dying this evening. And I apologize that you also had to be subject to that video. But that's what we do here on the show. We share in pain. It's unhealthy, but man oh man, is it a lot of fun. But not this time. Anyway. I'm thinking that next week, let's do a Garrett Bingo. I think we need to have a little bit of fun along with our pain. I think that's necessary. I'm gonna see if I can get Juice on. I'll give him a shout. If he can't come on, then I might actually delay it until he can come on. But yeah, so we need to have a little bit of a game next time so that we can have some fun. Anyway, damn, psychic damage 2 weeks in a row. At least we can make up for that with a little bit of Garrett Bingo. So let's we'll see. Again, I'm gonna say if Juice can't make it, then we won't do it. I'm gonna make sure that Juice is there for when we do it because I've been wanting him to actually experience it with us. So we shall see. But please tune in for next week for whatever we're doing, if it do be Garrett Bingo or if it do be something else. Thank you all for coming by. Thank you all for watching and joining me in pain as usual. And I guess that's it. We'll see you next week, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye. Go on. Go on. You can leave now. You're expecting Garibay to heal you? Man, that psychic damage is really piling up there. No, that's not what I'm doing. It's okay. Go on. Go. You're okay. Everything's fine. Coville cannot make you hurt other people by saying that they're exploiting you anymore. Let's go. Goodbye.